Welcome to America's Third Party. And welcome to Tech Thursday, everybody. This is our daily event that we do. 3 hours recorded, sometimes 4 on YouTube. And we are here to talk about technology. Thank you for coming in. This is a nightly interactive, organic-based chat show where we interact with people on a political level on every issue. Whether you're from the left or the right, we're here to discuss your issues and bring them into the middle and talk about what's going on from your perspective. Now, unlike the Democrats and Republicans, we are open to your views, and we're going to go issue by issue to solve America's problems. That's something that you're not going to find from the two-party system. So welcome to the show. You like the haircut? Great, thank you. Well, I never cut my hair for a fee. I do it myself. I actually have been cutting my hair since 1983, and it's saved me close to $8,000. And out of that $8,000 savings, I managed to save enough money to buy a car that was used, mind you. And it was a $25,000 car originally. I paid $7,500 for it in 2006, and I'll show you what it looks like. All I have to do is find it. There it is. I bought this car. It's the first hybrid ever made in production. It's the Honda Insight, and I bought it for $7,500, and it's already paid for itself in gas savings. Pretty cool, huh? And I liked it so much, I have the 5-speed from 2000. I bought Sarah the automatic from 2001. And it's a great car because it looks brand new still. I keep it waxed. I take good care of the rubber. I absolutely love the sustainability of the whole thing. I've changed the tires at least 3 times. We've driven so much. I put 225,000 on it. And we've driven so much on my car that it literally paid for itself twice over, which is amazing, isn't it? So I saved enough money on doing my own haircuts to buy this car, and then I saved enough money on the gas to pay for the car over the time period. And Eves is banning some people in here. Thank you, Eves. That's nice of you. Eves Lopez, the staff member of the Vaughn Network. Thank you for coming in. Pretty cool. Yeah, so these cars will last about 400,000 miles comfortably. I've had to do a few repairs, and my total cost for the car is around $10,000 so far. Because I had to get a new battery pack recently, because the nickel metal hydride batteries ended up going bad. They weren't really bad. I still have the batteries, and I'm trying to figure out a way in which I can use them for a home energy system. When we bought the new battery pack for $2,000 recently on this car, they gave me the batteries, so I can use the old ones, and apparently these things are relatively indestructible, the nickel metal hydrides. Well, that kind of brings me to the next topic on technology, which it's interesting to note that technology was purchased by ExxonMobil, and they're sitting on it. The patent for the nickel metal hydride battery, one of the best, most resilient battery packs ever made, created by the Obinskis in Detroit, an older couple that really fought hard to create new technology, and they're no longer living now, but they sold it eventually to ExxonMobil, and ExxonMobil is just sitting on the patent. And that's one major change I would make. I would make sure that no patents could be sit on, that we'd have to license patents and make sure that they go into production. Because there are a lot of patents, and I'm not kidding, for very high mileage vehicles and incredibly efficient carburetors and fuel injection systems that have been bought up by big companies and then put into the archives. Replacements on my oxygen sensor was $500. I had a $500 oxygen sensor. That was expensive. I had another $500 electric window. Just this last summer, my electric window decided to die on me. So I've got an electric window for $500. And then I had a $2,000 battery pack. So I'm really looking at about $10,500. I'm into this car. But I'm not in any way going to give it up because I love the car. In 2000, I remember the day that I was watching television with my father, and I saw this car on TV. We were watching a show, the news, CNN News, and they were profiling a young politician in Illinois named Barack Obama. And my dad said to me, this is a true story. My dad said to me, David, what do you think about this Kenyan man running for a president? You think he'll ever try? I said, Dad, a Kenyan can't run for president. You have to be a natural born citizen. And during this entire time, from 2000 to 2007, and I kid you not, Barack Obama and Michelle were telling people he was born in Kenya. And I'm not making this up. I even have Michelle Obama on camera talking about going to their home country of Kenya on a trip. In 2007, they still carried the line that, oh yeah, Kenya was his home country. No one ever told Obama that you can't actually run for president and be from Kenya. So the whole story from Hawaii, well, here, let me play that Michelle clip for you.
Surrounding HIV testing, which is still plaguing so many of our communities, which you all know, a lot of that is due to homophobia. Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya,
Okay, yeah, so even in 2007, she was talking about his home country in Kenya. Yet the American people have never given due process. We've never been able to look at the nature of his birth certificate. It was all hush-hush, and then finally something came out, and every expert said it was a fraud. But the government never looked into it. So we are sure now that when I was watching that picture, it's true, Barack Obama was from Kenya at that time. And all of a sudden in 2007 it changed. But back at that time, I was watching a commercial by Honda, and lo and behold, this car was playing right on that commercial, right after that story about Barack Obama. So it came true to me that, okay, my dad and I are watching this show, and he said to me, so now, David, what do you think about, almost in the same expression, what do you think about this car? And I looked at it and I said, you know, Dad, 60 miles per gallon, and at the time they thought it would get 70. 60 miles per gallon, I think I found my dream car. And sure enough, I did. And we bought 2 of them now, so we're really happy with our purchase. But cars can get a lot more efficient. And in this country, we could create a U.S. auto corporation that could produce one particular type of car and get 100 miles per gallon, and it could cost around $15,000. He's not legally president, that's the point. And the government's not properly pursued this. The Supreme Court, let me tell you something interesting about Barack Obama's Supreme Court problems. The lady that kept all of those cases, those 18 cases against his birth certificate from migrating to the Supreme Court, her name is Elena Kagan. I think that's the right spelling. She had been Solicitor General for many years and never served as a judge in her life. And after she kept all those cases from migrating to the Supreme Court as Solicitor General, as payback, she was given a job as a Supreme Court Justice. So now she's a Supreme Court Justice for life, without ever being a judge in her entire life. Yeah. So these appointments by Barack Obama were involving racial issues like Sonia Sotomayor and her support of Aslan and La Raza, and Elena Kagan for her keeping the birth certificate issue from getting to the Supreme Court. That's right. Now she's a Supreme Court Justice and can rule on these issues, which is even more disturbing. So when you folks, you voters, look at the whole line of trail of paybacks, you'll see the layer of corruption. It's not that hard. You can just scratch a little bit and start sniffing, and you'll see how corrupt our country really is. We are incredibly deceived as a nation. We're led to believe things that are just not true, and it's led us down a road to relative ruin. Our economy is still struggling. We don't have any real traction in the American economy, to the point where Janet Yellen won't even extend interest rates. She's still unsure about the economy. Police and government officials are using official emails to have affairs. This is a really scary thing. Scissor Fights uncovered how government and police officials are using secret email accounts to literally set up affairs online and do it surreptitiously without anyone noticing. Amazing. And the layer of corruption is going to get more and more obvious to the American people as time goes on. We're getting more and more wake-up calls as we go. Looking good. Hey, Randall. So let's take a look at what the government is working on here. This is kind of interesting. We heard about the strip clubs, the IRS, that were financed with $70 million of your tax dollars. I wonder how much this is costing. Whoa. In the past, Copblock.org has reported on numerous cases of spousal abuse, child abuse, and even sexual abuse by police officers. Therefore, it should not come as a shock that numerous local, state, and federal employees are on the list of Ashley Madison clients. It seems that a lot of the officials utilize this cheating website by using their respective agency's official email account. It's unknown at this time whether or not those individuals utilize the service while on the clock. Wow. Amazing. Corruption. Yes, and the big news is Jimmy Carter has brain cancer and it has spread. I'm very sorry for Jimmy, and I'm hoping and praying that he'll get through this time with minimal pain. Now, Jeb Bush is coming out firing against Donald Trump. After weeks of parring with Trump's derisive thrusts with indirect and sparring responses, Jeb Bush is aggressively attacking Mr. Trump here on Thursday, portraying him as a Democratic-leaning poser in the Republican field. And I know that, believe me, Donald Trump's connections to Hillary are very well noted. We'll talk about that later. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little video on new technology that's coming, and I'm going to change my shirt and get the show going in a more professional way. I normally have my tie on, but today we did a little traveling, and I decided to go ahead and just go with the shirt I was wearing today at a local restaurant. So I'll be right back with a little bit more, but first I want to show you some new technology that just came into our show last week. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's an example of an invention that just disappeared. Watch this. Whatever happened to this invention?
Turn the machine on.
Denny Klein fires up his hot new invention. His machine emits a flame that feels only slightly warm to the touch. But watch what happens when he touches anything else.
Instantaneously, I can burn a hole right down through the center of that brick.
The flame instantly turns hotter than the surface of the sun. Heat so intense it takes only seconds to literally burn a hole through charcoal. 3 seconds turns a brass ball to glowing liquid metal. Tungsten lights up like a sparkler. Steel, lead, and other metal slices on contact. Yet the tip of the welder stays cool to the touch.
No other gas will do this.
Denny Klein uses an alternative fuel source once thought impossible. He says people still have trouble believing him when he reveals his liquid fuel.
Water. Take water and electricity, and we break it down through our very unique electrolysis process.
Klein has just patented his process of converting H2O to HHO, producing a gas that combines the atomic power of hydrogen with the chemical stability of water.
It turns right back to water. You can see the water running off of this.
Klein originally designed his water-burning engine for cutting metal. He thought his invention would replace volatile acetylene in welding factories. Then one day, as he drove to his laboratory in Clearwater, he thought of another way to burn his HHO gas.
On a 100-mile trip, we use about 4 ounces of water.
Klein says his prototype 1994 Ford Escort can travel exclusively on water, though he currently has it rigged to run as a water and gasoline hybrid.
Simply speaking, it can change the world by reducing our dependence on fossil fuels.
These are equivalent to our...
Pete Dominici is helping Klein take his hydrogen technology patents from a 2-room office in Clearwater to consumer markets around the world.
You know what? Microsoft came out of nowhere, came out of the garage. Why not hydrogen technologies?
The duo is already in negotiations with one U.S. automaker and the U.S. government. Their plans have grown from basic welding with water to powering the entire world from the safest and cleanest fuel on Earth. Craig Patrick, Fox News.
Members of Congress recently invited Denny Klein to Washington to demonstrate his technology. Now his company is currently developing a Hummer for the U.S. military that can run on both water and gasoline. So far, his water-powered engines have passed all performance safety inspections, so all systems appear to be go right now, and gives new meaning to the term running water.
You just have to hope that water prices don't go up like the gas.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I believe that. Oh, yeah, and whatever happened to him? Oh, he's not here, man. Dave's not here. Yeah, whatever happened to Stanley Meyer? Well, he died. Yeah. It's amazing how all these inventors are dying. No, I'm still here. Well, yeah, I'm a quick change artist. But I wanted everyone to know, I don't even know what happened to Denny, but I can tell you Stanley Meyer died of an embolism. What happened was he was in a restaurant talking with a potential investor and his brother, and he grabbed his throat and said he was being poisoned, ran out, and died. Now, the official autopsy of Stanley Meyer is that he died of a brain embolism. So, not Mike Meyer, that's a comedian. But Stanley Meyer is the guy who created the water dune buggy. And we play that video in the evenings. I'll give you a little taste of it right here. He really cared about, getting water as a basis for fuel, and we believed it so much he resisted a $1 billion buyout offer from the Middle East. Here's Stanley Meyer. Fayette County, Ohio.
Well, it was during the oil embargo of the United States. It alarmed me that a little country over in the Far East could actually cripple the United States. And realizing that the entire industrial base of the United States and the world is based on the supply and the utilization of energy, it became imperative that we must try to bring in an alternate fuel source and do it very quickly. Of course, I thought originally with the right type of funding, we could possibly get it in within 6 months. But
it goes well beyond for granting patents on the hydrogen-producing device. Conventional method is called electrolysis. Meyer has turned that process on its head. And like electrolysis, his device doesn't use up large amounts of electric current, nor does it produce an enormous amount of waste heat.
All right, so we'll play that later tonight, but it's pretty obvious that they didn't want him to come up with low-cost energy. That means they really want to screw all of us over financially. They're not happy with us, you and I, getting away with paying less on our electricity. This past year, we have paid more for electricity to America than ever before.
Welcome to the protagonist version of...
Thank you. Intro, Dave. Hello. Well, we're here to talk about whatever's on your mind. Federal lawsuit demands Costco labels shrimp packaging as product of slavery. Yeah, interesting. So they're selling products made from, I assume, Thailand? That's right. And there is human trafficking in Thailand. And yes, now, recent ruling, Costco Wholesale was sued for selling farm shrimp from Thailand, where slave labor and human trafficking in the fish industry is prevalent. A California woman filed what may be the first such lawsuit against the retailer over liability for the Thai fishing industry. She's taking her concerns seriously. She's not messing around. Good for her. We have people here that work for Costco, making their daily living. They don't want to be selling human trafficked shrimp. I don't think that's funny, and I'm going to purge you, but you have one last chance to redeem yourself by saying you're sorry and basically alleging or actually committing to supporting our third party. So go ahead and say you're sorry and say, I will support the third party. Go ahead. Then we'll leave you in the show. David, you want mainstream media proof of chemtrails? I'm sure I've got it somewhere. Moscow mayor promises a winter without snow. Well, interesting. Controlling the weather in Moscow is nothing new, he says. Ahead of the two main holidays celebrated in the city year, Victory Day in May and City Day in September. Apparently they're paying for a certain quality, air quality. Interesting. Proof. Mainstream media proof. You call that mainstream media? Okay, time.com. That's pretty good. Well, Sarah's going to be in a little later. She's in no hurry to come in. She took a nice shower. We had a long drive. It was kind of a hot day here in Washington. Wasn't too wonderful. Hi there, Mad Dog. Like I said, the hydrogen guy is dead. He died in 1998. He said he was poisoned. The other guy, we don't know what happened to him. Denny, he's gone. Every single inventor of high mileage vehicles and efficient engines is either dead or probably unable to sell their patent anymore because it was bought off. Everything you're hearing about zero-point energy is true. we can, on Earth, get more energy out of a device than we put into it. The Dev engine is a classic example of that. It's an engine that runs on magnetic energy and centrifugal power. And the Dev engine is just a simple example of zero-point energy and how it works. Here's the magnetic motor. As the magnet squeezes down, it increases velocity, generating more spin, which can be harnessed to generate electricity. One of the many ways in which this technology is defying logic. Electric cars can be very good and efficient, but they're actually getting more energy out of centrifugal power than they put into it. So it creates a net gain, which violates the second law of thermodynamics by Kelvin, which means that all energy is conserved. Well, it's not. It's not. It's actually not conserved. There's actually a lot more energy in the strong force in water. H2O has more energy in it, more potential energy in it, than you could ever imagine. So that's what Stanley Meyer and the other guy were coming up with. And other people are now working with water and generating the same energy from the hydrogen burn. They break the oxygen hydrogen up and they get a burn out of hydrogen. So any effort to suppress zero-point technology is coming out of the oil industry. The real problem here, folks, is money is dominating technology. Money. The money in the oil industry. You know, 100 years ago, Nikola Tesla, a great genius, perhaps the greatest genius that ever lived, came up with a technology to send electricity through the air. And now, today, 100 years later, they're starting to experiment with it. But back then, J.P. Morgan, his boss, got wind of it and said, we don't want that energy developed so that you can send it in the air, because J.P. Morgan had invested a tremendous amount of money into copper wire. Well, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's the quote. The love of money. Love of the money. So money itself is a conveyance. I don't believe that money is the root of all evil, but the love of the money is the root of all evil. Yeah, we have vicinity electrical charging now. Everything that Tesla came up with, and J.P. Morgan said he didn't want to do, and ruined Tesla, left him penniless. J.P. Morgan simply... Good evening, everyone. We're not sure what happened just now. We're back. Yeah. Hey. We're going to remove Cesspool from the show. I can't believe that that person hasn't been permanently permabanned, and I would ask anybody who's watching if we have any kind of support here. Hey, Sarah Bach. Well, technology is not perfect, so we're back up and running. Luckily, all kinds of systems can reset. Scissor Fight has a link to you guys who want to follow the Stanley Meyer story. Thank you. All right, so we're up and running. We're not really sure what happened on Vaughn's end, but we had a gross attack upon our servers over here, so hopefully it's just a temporary thing. I did not see that video, and I have no idea what... I never appeared on Millionaire Show. I'm not materialistic. I'm not buyable in any way. Robots should definitely not run the country, Roche. You're right. So you think Cesspool is a cyber unit? Okay. Other channels reporting the same? Okay. Thank you. If it is a sustained attack, we will broadcast from a remote location. It is a network attack. It's across the board. It's not just Vaughn. It's not just Vaughn being attacked. We have YouTube problems too, but we're okay now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back up and running. DDoS is distributed denial of service. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, David. Hello, everyone.
Anybody who continually comes in here promoting Trump will be banned. Thank you.
Scissor Fight has an interesting website you can check.
Yeah.
OutageAnalyzer.com.
Outage Analyzer. Ooh, that's a high technology thing. That's kind of cool. 549 impacted websites right now. 3,900 websites in a 24-hour period. There's 5 open outages currently. Thank you. I will back off from the cam if that makes you feel better. Is that better? Yeah, so a lot of people who are government officials are using this cop block, Ashley Madison's site, to engage in sex chat and things. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, not Cop Block is reporting on it? Is that right?
You know, we looked at the article earlier, and here it is over here, actually. You can make sense of this. I'm not going to put it out there, but there's all these police departments and agencies that have signed up to this Ashley Madison organization. Ways of hiding their emails and what. I never said Coke block.
Oh.
I said cop block. Okay.
He used their agency's official email accounts? Gentlemen and ladies, how difficult is it for you to get an email account through, say, Hotmail, Gmail, mail.com? Really?
Okay.
Do not use official.
By the way, folks, if you are broadcasting a hate message like the person guest 188 just said, we are keeping track of those hate messages. They will be passed on to the FBI, just so you know. All right? So don't think you're going to be available, you're going to be completely anonymous. You will be tracked down.
Do you want me to open that up?
I'm going to take care of it.
Need some help?
Nope, I got it. Yeah, we keep track of all those attacks on our show, and it's kind of good that we have this technology available to us because we keep a constant record, and it's ongoing. And all of these files are trimmed and nicely compacted into an email file we're passing on to the authorities.
Yep.
So
anyone who'd like to, not anyone, but any authority who'd like to help us get to the bottom of everything.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
So today's the 20th, and we're already up to our first perp. We have perps for every day. Perp letters and messages going out to the FBI. There you go. Yeah, and we're going to keep track of that too because I'll never lose. You guys are just frightened that I'm going to win. I smell fear when I see a lot of you people coming and hating us. I smell fear in your eyes and your mind and your chat. Even though I can't see you, I can tell you're afraid that I am going to win this coming up election, and it's getting dicey for you because you've been trying for 7 years to shut us down.
Thank you. I hope David wins
Thank you.
too.
Thank you, 787.
And it's going to take a lot of effort on our part.
This and every other election that I'm in, I'm a winner. I'm a driver. Things are going to change. I can feel it. Well, you're going to end up being marked as one of those people, man. You've already been on their list. You just added yourself. Just keep saying that. You're going to add yourself over and over again. And once the subpoena goes out for your IP, I hope you are, prepared for what could happen. No, I don't want Debbie Gibson doing any kind of performance at my upcoming inauguration.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get some ice water.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Debbie Gibson is not my ideal person. I'm not that fond of her type of humor, but thank you. Oh, she's a musician. I didn't realize she had some music. Let me listen to her. Hang on. I may be thinking of a different Gibson. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be appearing at my event. You're talking about this Debbie Gibson? That her? That's her. She's the one. I am running for president. Is that you're talking about? Yeah, I don't think she's going to be appearing at any event. What are you smoking? I will be president. It's ordained. It's coming. Yeah, she's very old school. David, play only in my dreams. Is that the one where it goes, a candy-coated clown like the Sandman, tiptoes? No, that's not the one. Hi, Izzy. Izzy Wizzy. So a lot of you really like technology. No, that's called water from Sarah's hair. She took a shower. God, are you suffering from vagina envy, Meow TV? I actually did a kind of an armchair diagnosis of the problem that Donald Trump suffers from, and I was really shocked to find out that it is vagina envy. Now, I'm not a psychologist, and I can't make a legitimate, assessment of a person's psychology. But when Donald Trump started talking about this woman, this great, wonderful spokesman for the Fox network, Megyn Kelly, and started saying things, I started looking into the story of womb and vagina envy, and I actually found an assessment by the famed woman psychoanalyst Karen Horney. And Karen Horney said it to a T here. It literally is, yes. Wow, they changed the wiki. Yeah, ever since I went there, it changed. That's interesting. The entire wiki changed since the last time I was there. You think it has something to do with the fact that I was there?
Yes, definitely.
You think?
Absolutely.
Could be. Yeah, anyways, it talked about a guy who was obsessed with money and his name as being a symptom.
You have it
of
from
vagina
a few nights
envy.
Ago, so you can go back and get that chat.
That's amazing how the wiki just changed after it clearly represented a man like Donald Trump. Okay, let's move on.
Moving on.
Nothing's wrong. Everything's good. A lot of you who pick on little things and superficial things are probably living in a world of superficiality. And when you look at the mirror, you probably say, what's wrong with your face? And that's because you're suffering from political envy. You're envying anybody who has political power or a chance for political power. I don't know anything about Marco Rubio. I don't even know if he has any opinions that are not politically incorrect. He's against natural birthright when that's how he became a U.S. citizen. Well, I'm in favor of natural born citizenship. I don't in any way believe. Yeah, we're going to ban you because you're an idiot.
Yes.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders could be the Democratic nominee. That's like picking Colonel Sanders to represent a burger joint,
I think he's 15 years old, tomato girl. And they really should look at people's... Maybe they should... I think that the FEC needs to...
Reevaluate.
Be reevaluated, yes. Especially with the whole issue of them having that Citizens United case.
Oh, I know.
I mean, in a way, I believe that Citizens United case completely invalidates that need for the FEC.
You're right. Yeah, it gives complete corporate
It's basically saying
choice.
anybody can use their money any way they want. So why do we need to know about it?
Yeah. Serbach, I am not in any way going to be demeaned by you. This is your last warning, and you're on thin ice, I got to tell you. You've been on thin ice all along. It's the last username of about 50 names that you have that we banned. All right, so you're about ready to be banned again as Serbach. Calling me a used car salesman is derogatory. I'm not a used car salesman, never did that. Don't believe that that's something I would ever do. I know who he is, and he's about ready to be removed from the show. We know that, yeah.
You want it?
Let me go ahead and just remove him, yeah. All right.
He says he's not.
You're claiming you're not him.
He's said that quite a few times.
All right. Thanks, Roche. Well, he's on warning now. If he continues, trying to demoralize me, it's the same thing he said like 50 times in our show, that I look like a used car salesman. When I don't look like a used car salesman, I look like an incredibly great guy who has great ideas, who can help this nation.
No monkey times I was not cuffed.
Sarah was treated properly. We were both treated procedurally properly. I even complimented the officers of what a good job they did.
And I asked immediately what's happening with David when I saw that he was cuffed.
Yeah.
And they said, we're simply following procedures.
Procedures, ma'am. So my biggest concern about the entire event is the protocol that was followed. And I'm going to be working on ways I can find out more about the protocol and what led to the mistakes and the presumptive belief that somehow a young man under 29 years old sounded like a 55-year-old politician running for president in their eyes. And whatever made them think that...
He didn't claim he was doing that on the call, I suppose. But
claim he was what? Doing what?
Right.
Claiming what? What are you saying?
Nothing. I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah, he's a 29-year-old man, I believe. The voice is pretty clear. It's a 29-year-old man, which happens to be the same age as Sarah Bach.
I appreciate what 445 says. We proved that getting killed by police officers when you cooperate
is unlikely. Okay.
Fortunately, they did not point any guns at myself. They did walk forward with guns draped across the front of their body, holding them that they could easily swing them out at me if necessary, but no, they did not point guns at me.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when you walk out with your hands up like this and you still have to get down on the ground, and then on top of that they have me put my hands behind my back and they cuff me. Okay? So it's like, oh, they were really frightened that this was a real event, and every indication that they had, every indication was that it was a fake call. So
that's what I hear, Roche.
This overreaction by the local law enforcement is something that I'm concerned about, and their protocols need to be investigated. That's the best way I can describe what's going on. I can't imagine not calling me on a phone number that I gave them 2 months earlier and verifying whether we were on the show. I can't imagine them not going to our website and seeing that my voice is clearly not in any way like the voice of the person calling. I can't imagine them even violating our personal privacy the way they did, without checking in advance 1 hour earlier that this was a legitimate call. But to assume that it was a definite attack on a house is the most disturbing part about the entire event. And beyond that, I really can't comment. So I will be discussing a lot of this later in my book, my autobiography. But whatever happens from here on is strictly, on a separate issue, on a side note, going to be dealt with. Thank you. My arrival and the arrival of the team took about an hour, but I was only interrupted for 10 minutes. And what happened was I ran a video on John McCain's war record, when I still believe John McCain was a war hero, even though I don't agree with him politically. And I merely got up, went to the door, and then proceeded to go through the swatting, and it took 10 minutes, and I was back on the show and talking just like I am right now, as if nothing had happened.
David does have a book out, by the way, already.
Yes.
I mean, this one isn't about it's not a biography or autobiography. It's his plans for the future of the country. It's called Hybrid Capitalism, and you can order that on our website, AmericasThirdParty.com/store.
Right. It's available. It's the comprehensive 200-page, roughly 200-page book that talks about how to jumpstart our economy and get it rolling in the right direction. Hybrid Capitalism was written over a 2-year period by Sarah and I. We both contributed to it. And its concepts are just as important in 2016 as they were in 2012.
Thank you, Senior Pot. I agree that David should be commended for his resilience in the face of this, I would call it internet terrorism.
Yeah, we're being attacked by cyber terrorists and cyber criminals, and it brings up a good point, because with the advent of this technology, we're going to need a lot more safeguards in place. Now, Web 4.0 is currently on the drawing board at major companies like Cisco and Microsoft, and they're looking at a way in which they can make an internet that's safer and also more net neutral.
He did tell me about it, Scissor Fight, so I believe he did.
I've not shown Sarah the MP3, but I'm looking at the MP3 and comparing it to other audio clips we have of crank calls. So I'm doing some deep research. It takes a while. Don't promote other people in the show. It's a bannable offense, unscary, whatever you are. And that's not even a person. It's a 15-year-old boy that you're trying to promote on the internet. It shows me how mindless you people are. Here we have a great solution for the country. Many different ways in which we can help you provide a low-cost health care, a house in your life, a chance to have a job that's 20 bucks an hour and only 6 weeks of training. And you people who are bad people coming in here, all of you, most of you are good people, but the bad people coming in here is an example of how completely misguided the American people are, how misled we are. A lot of the young people who are watching this show are slamming us right now and pursuing some idiot 15-year-old as president, or some ridiculous millionaire corporate pig like Donald Trump. Those people are absolutely the bane of our culture. They don't even realize Donald Trump's never going to give them a penny. How do you think he got so rich? Because he doesn't care about other people. He cares about himself, and he's openly greedy. And you people look at him as some sort of an icon of greatness. It's profoundly ridiculous that you continue to support bad candidates. I'm surprised. I really am. It's a worldwide situation. It is. Not just in America. That's right. We don't need scammers. We need intelligent people with good ideas running our country. I know. You know, I see right through Trump and Hillary, and I saw right through Barack Obama. That's why we started America's Third Party. That's the deal. You know, we started through the effort that we realized that a centrist party was needed, someplace in between the two parties. And that's what we're all about. Finding compromise. Okay, I'm going to step out. I'll be right back. Thank you, Sarah. Enjoy. I'll be freshening up my coffee.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's commendable that David is continuing his run for the presidency, and he's not. I will say it has to. Yes, and that really does irk me. 414. That really does irk me. I suppose I should contact that person to see how I can get that type of coverage. But I will continue to do what I do, I suppose, and yeah, it's disappointing. Yes, Sleepy Floyd, which is why you say one's on the left, on the extreme left, one's on the extreme right. It doesn't seem to be a compromise style election, but that's where America's Third Party comes in. We can be the compromise. We can be the average Americans that people need.
Right. We can work with both sides at the same time.
We can work with both sides. Whenever two people disagree, they always call in a third party to mediate, and that's what we can be. We can be the third-party mediators.
That's why Barack Obama's failed, and that's why Donald Trump would fail, because they're both so divisive, you know? That's all they do is divide the two parties.
You want me to do that?
No, I got it.
The revelation was to keep going and keep forging forward.
Yeah.
I have seen drones over local gatherings of, you know, local festivals and parades and things of that nature. Yes, do dream on. I encourage everyone to dream and
dream big.
Put forward the effort to attain your dreams. Oh, sorry. Here, I can help you with that.
Thank you. Okay, we're opening up the chat. Well, this is the thing. Everyone's going to select compromise. That's the point, Sleepy Floyd. Most people are in the center of the political spectrum. Most people aren't far right wingers or far lefters. Most of the American people really are like Sarah and I. We had a wonderful dinner out at a local buffet. I ate so much food, I just felt like, kind of burying my stresses in food, and I'm glad I did.
So 9184 says his respect for you as a caster has grown even more.
Wow, thank you.
So good job.
Right now, the Koch brothers have put their support, financial support, in the Scott Walker camp.
Ghost, you can definitely volunteer to do that. Right now, we don't have the funding to pay anyone for such services. I volunteer to lend a hand with David when I can. Which, definitely we need a lot more volunteers because it's a lot of work.
Okay.
Awesome.
I want everyone to know that my name has never been put in the running of any poll. I want everyone to know that polls by themselves are oftentimes rigged. I want everyone to know also that our political process is censoring our party and everything we're doing. They only gave me about 12 or 15 seconds of time on TV in 7 years of time. And only because somebody swatted us and basically forced us into a very vulnerable situation unnecessarily. They never represented our politics. They never given me a time to talk on the issues.
And now he has the internet to talk every night with you. So that's why he's here talking with you, so that they can take this video and use it. And this is David talking with you.
It's in archive. So a lot of you people who are wanting to see our show can always go to our site, AmericasThirdParty.com, and you can see it right there above Sarah's head, AmericasThirdParty.com. You could go there and watch our archive video.
I wouldn't call that a prank call, Monkey Times. That was definitely a lot worse than that.
Yeah, this is far worse than a prank call. I mean, this guy who did do this will suffer a 10-year prison sentence.
Thank you so much, Ghost. I appreciate that.
Okay, it's up and running. I'll be back. Thank you. Take care. Not yet.
So you still so Sarah Bach, are you what do you say to what Big Van Vader is claiming?
Yeah, they think Sarah Bach's the one.
All right. He knows David and I drink different beverages, so I'm not saying that Sarah Bach. I was just asking you to respond to that other person. Actually, this is filtered water. What is the word? We have a distilled? No, it's filtered water. Not Brita. Yes, we have a reverse osmosis, thank you. Alright, just a sec. Oh, I'm just doing a little bit of work. Sorry if I'm not responding to the chat immediately. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it's a reverse osmosis system. Alright, when David becomes absent and the questions in the chat become juvenile and obscene towards Sarah, and Sarah just ignores most of them because it's not required for me to respond to juvenile and obscene chat. I will say what I need to do is move us forward as a political party, move us forward as a country, and help solve the problems that exist around. Sometimes I suppose I do, Hollywood. Now, I think, we have so much that can happen in our country to make it a better place, from our grocery stores to the governments. That it's a huge country, and it takes a lot to run it. I really respect all of the people that do all of their individual jobs. I just want to say, whatever your job is, I thank you for doing it, and if you enjoy it, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't enjoy it, find a job that you really do enjoy. It's really important that you enjoy life and enjoy what you have chosen to do for a living. Thank you very much, Roche. Some people were who were saying that 6178. Oh. Yes, sometimes David does talk about issues that are controversial, but I would say that for him it's important for people to hear about those issues, even if everyone doesn't agree with him. He's very authentic, and he speaks the truth. He speaks about what he believes in, and he believes that people need to wake up to the truth. I'm gonna ask you to kindly not promote other candidates in this chat room. Thank you very much. Yes, I know, Daniel, you say life isn't puppies and unicorns, and a lot of you are stuck in dead-end jobs, and you think you always will be, but it's nice to see that I'm optimistic, because I would say, Daniels, what is it that you want to do with your life? And if you're not doing that already, what is stopping you? And if it's fear, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's true, a lot of people with great ideas are not famous, and I would just encourage people to continue to pursue your great ideas. Oh. Well, I think one of the songs David might play after he becomes president is "Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, here I am, stuck in the middle with you." Oh, well, I was just surprised that, I would say, Sarah Bach, that I was just surprised that how composed you were to not respond to that kind of troll behavior, I suppose. All right. No, I don't think so. So why would you say that, but though, Big Van Vader? I mean, you're accusing someone of doing something. Do you have any proof of this, Big Van Vader? And why would you accuse someone of doing something if you have no proof? Did I meet David at a disco? No. Okay. Yes, I know people like to stir up things. That's just the way people are in general. I know that. But I'm glad I don't, you know. I'm just glad everything turned out well. I'll say that. I'm glad I'm here. Okay, there's wow. Wow, Substar, I don't know if I really want to read about the ISIS beheading someone. What do you suggest I do to rebuild my website, 499? And why would you think it was a scam site when you went there? I mean, I've laid it out the best that I know how. Yes, I know, 7879. I do try to think of it that way. No, thank you. I don't want you to run a bot that bans all links, Ghost. Yes, I know that there's going to be certain posts on here, links on here that are negative and bad. But you know, I think that some of the links that come in are very good. That's what I would say. Okay, just a sec. Alright, I know David does a great job talking constantly, so I'm going to have him come in and talk.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Oh, I'm using your thing. I think it's better if I sit over here.
Okay, good. I don't mind sitting in this chair.
I mean,
actually like this.
I can sit in the other chair or whatever.
No, I like this chair. And this way I feel like a little guy over here.
Well, then I won't click on any of these links, Izzy Wizzy. How about that? But people can post links. I'm not... Chase's links aren't usually bad. Usually they're .jpeg files, which are simply pictures.
This broadcast might end, really. Are you in charge, Izzy Wizzy? Mr. Anderson, you presume. You think I'm the guy on Matrix. You think that maybe I made the money. But no, Mr. Anderson. I made no money from the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. I'm here because you asked me to be here. I'm called to task because the American people need a person with my abilities, Mr. Anderson. A person to solve problems. But you, Mr. Anderson, think you're different. I go to save and then 2015.
I do this and then...
Oh, okay.
And then I do that.
Yeah. And then I go to the 9 one. Anyway, we're having fun. Technology is one of those things that, like I said, 0-point energy is something we want to achieve. And we want lower cost energy for everybody in America. And frankly, the amount of infrastructure that our tax dollars have donated to American enterprise, we should have seen low cost solar panels by now. We should have seen $1 per watt solar panels. But we've seen the Democrats waste tons and tons of money, like $530 million of your tax money, on a company that couldn't even produce a product, Solyndra. Or a company that just bragged about how they were going to make a 100-mile-per-gallon car out of Finland. And Obama and the Democrats just said, oh, sure, what do you want? 1.5 billion? There you go. And they too went bankrupt. So there's a lot of liars in the venture capital area. We, the American people, need to take the bull by the horns and start leading and developing products that will be mass produced. And we have a plan to create solar rooftops in this country that will actually give you guys a chance to, save money on your electricity. We could lease your rooftop for the cost of simply you getting money back on your electric bill. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. But these venture capitalists want to siphon off of every industry, and it's turning into a disaster for our nation. It makes us more and more reliant on corporations and not on the American people. So clearly, they've constructed this thing that they say, oh, well, the government can't do anything. You must be a socialist. No, we're actually a hybrid capitalist. We're not a socialist. We don't want to take all your tax dollars and throw it at companies like the Democrats do. We want to take some money that the government has currently that we're misusing and take money out of the wasteful spending of the budget and allocate it for startups that will create jobs. I mean, it's a no-brainer here. There you go. You think I could be like Jon Stewart? Yeah. No, she's approved of me. Monkey Ballsger, not everybody lives a dysfunctional life. But if that's what you're living, don't try to project that onto us, okay? Thanks. They can't kickstart a business.
Pardon?
Look,
I thought they couldn't kickstart a political thing.
They can't kickstart a political thing, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't saying that. They were saying something else.
Well, I'll unban him.
Okay.
It's that simple.
You can just go up here and double.
All right, we'll unban you. All right, there you go.
Yep, I got you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Let me do a couple more captures.
Really, what are we capturing here?
Oh, you'll get to read it later.
Oh,
I'll
goody.
just say that. How about that?
You're saying I'm in the Matrix. Really? So you say that why, Mr. Anderson? Because you think the Matrix exists, don't you, Mr. Anderson? That's fine.
I wish this wouldn't open so darn big, so maybe I'll put this over here so you can still read the chat or something. I don't know.
Thanks, DT Laura. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna.
No, I need this for a moment.
All right, take your time. We're just kind of building a thing against that person. There you go.
Okay, just a sec. And then I need to do one more.
Oh, after this one?
Yep.
Oh, okay, great. Utopian socialists, they never work. You know, our island here, Whidbey Island, was founded by socialists at one point. I mean, originally Dutch and Danish people moved here and settled in the 1700s. And then there was a group of socialists that formed an organization down on the south end of the island called Freeland. And they actually believed that they could legislate in ideas that everyone had to follow. And nobody wanted to go that way. And for over 100 years, these people kind of stayed away from the socialists down there.
Okay, don't ban anyone yet.
All right.
I'll take care of it all. Or actually, just a sec.
You just did that one.
I know I did that one. Can you just wait?
Sure.
I mean, unless you want to do all of this.
I'd like to do guest chat off.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but
I'll turn off guest for you, but
Thanks.
I'm not. I'm doing some things. So.
All right, sure. Yeah, so you know, socialism isn't a guarantee that it's going to solve problems if you take power away from one group of people and give it to another group of corrupt socialists at the top, like Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. I mean, case in point, our country is being led by a bunch of plutocrats, people that just acquired money recently, and most of all, they believe that that money is going to buy them the presidency. Like Hillary Clinton believes she's going to buy the presidency. Donald Trump believes he's going to buy the presidency. I mean, how many people running in government right now are millionaires? And it turns out over 65% of them are millionaires. Hey, Boink, how you doing? Boink's suffering from an amputation, everybody. Unbelievable loss of a limb due to drunken driving. And I hope you're doing okay, man. Really tragic what happened to you. It may be a lesson to all of us to not drink and drive. Good luck to you, Boink. And your career is still sustaining you. You're going to be able to get, you know, they're going to keep you going over there at that agency. That's good.
A little bit. Okay.
No, hybrid capitalism is not some fascist term. It's just a way in which we want to pull ideas together. Well, I have a radio voice because I was in radio for many years, but I don't make a big deal of talking about it. You know, being a radio icon for years, it's been difficult to break into another venue. Anyway, we'll have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about the existence of zero-point technology, the possibility you can get more energy out of something than you put into it, which the patent office actually sued Stanley Myers close to $15,000 he had to pay to defend himself, claiming that he was able to split hydrogen and oxygen and get enough energy to continue splitting hydrogen and oxygen and also power up a drivetrain. It's not that big of a stretch to imagine. I mean, you can imagine getting 30% more energy out of that scenario. So essentially what zero-point energy is, in a nutshell, is potential energy turned into kinetic energy. So there's energy in every single element we see. Every atom has a tremendous amount of energy. Mass itself, and we know from Einstein's simple equation, E equals mc squared, mass itself equates to a tremendous amount of energy. So if you split the covalent bond between hydrogen and oxygen, you break a strong force that releases enough energy, 30% more, that powers up whatever you need, including the process of hydrolysis or electrolysis, or any number of ways in which you're going to capture those hydrogen and oxygen elements and then burn them separately to generate energy. So this is very interesting, isn't it? And if you don't believe that this is possible, it's been proven thousands of times. Now, in a little while, when I get control of the board, I will show you a series of inventions that have been suppressed for a century. And many times people come up with inventions and all of a sudden somebody buys the patent and they can't possibly use that patent again. So what we want to do is make sure that all of those ideas will come into a completely new view. Congress can change patent law. You know, I can do this really quickly.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
I do it. I have a method.
Go ahead.
All right.
Do it.
Thank
But
you.
I've got a lot to do.
Well, that's why we have a recording over here.
Whatever.
All right.
If you want me to leave, I'll leave. But
No,
I need to do some stuff.
I want you to do is take your time and do it in your own way.
Some things.
What I do, I'll show you what I do.
I know what you do.
I shrink it like this.
I saw what you did.
And go like this. But I pulled all the chat over there. What I do is I grab it like I'm sharing some technology.
I know what you do.
I stack it over here.
I know what you do.
All right. And why don't you want to do that?
It's just fine.
See, Sarah's learning a lot of she's learning a lot about intelligence, a lot of technology, and you know, I'm keeping only the chat records of the attackers, and she's learning to do this without using an instant grab, which we found that hijacks our cache. This is how complicated the whole thing has become. When you do an instant grab or instant picture of the internet, you oftentimes have it running in cache and it slows everything down. Sarah's just stressing out about the fact that she's grabbing hate and all kinds of stuff, when normally when I sit there, I grab, ban, grab, ban.
Would you like to sit here when I'm doing things purposely?
Well, I don't have a problem
reason?
with you doing this. No, I'm good with it. I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm glad that you're taking the charge of, because actually we should both be able to work that station, you know, because our setup here.
Well, maybe I should be doing it over there, but I'm not going to do that either. That's too,
Thank you,
I
man.
don't have the screen grab.
No, we never got married, and we do hope to, you know, someday, you know, talk about marriage, but we still believe that marriage is something the government should stay out of. We believe it's a gross violation for our Supreme Court to even tell people they should have a gay marriage. The government shouldn't tell anybody what they should do for marriage. And this is an idea Sarah and I have talked about.
Grid?
I don't know. I guess you have to pull it off, you know. The thing about, now this is a good example of what technology is, folks. Technology is frustrating. All right?
Oh, no, it's perfectly fine.
No, it's not. I want everybody to know that when you look at technology, and this is a real show, we really talk about the issues. When you look at technology, you're going to have either a short, quick curve or an incredibly daunting curve. And when that happens, you can do one of two things. You can fight your urge to just say, oh, I can't handle this anymore. You can freeze and go, I think I'll look at Xbox and just play games. Or you can flee and just run away and get rid of all the technology you have in your house. But there's a better way. And what this is an example of is how we're trying to find a place in our house, which is our studio, where we're feeling comfortable from both seats, so that she can do one thing on one day and I can do the same thing she's doing on another day. But what you need to do is get the feng shui, and I'm going to use that word, the feng shui of technology nailed down in your home. So when your kids are over there, they've got their PlayStation, they've got their setup to do their interactive learning experience, and you can keep an eye on them. You want to have an eye on that monitor, because if you're not watching your kids from the corner, they could be out there chatting with some pervert online, and you don't want that, okay? So keep an eye on them and make sure that their technology is in the other room near there. Well, it's not total nonsense, elusive man. Energy companies have already invested heavily in oil. Now, if you look at that as a simple paradigm, oil being the primary conveyance of energy, let me share this to you. Our country, our Department of Energy, does not even see oil as anything but a commodity, like toilet paper, even though it's a resource. The oil companies are so powerful, and this is a clear telltale sign of this. They're so powerful that they've got us believing that oil is not a resource, and therefore the government doesn't really have too much oversight over oil. So they have essentially controlled that, and to the point now where you're saying, well, it's ridiculous for them not to make zero-point energy if it's so cheap to make. Well, if they make zero-point energy, they're not going to have a way to charge you a lot of money for your natural gas or your oil. Think about it. They make money on you. They harvest their money from you. Will they be able to harvest money from you when you're buying your kilowatt hours for 0.01 cent per hour as opposed to 19 cents an hour, kilowatt hour? No, they won't make any money at all. They won't even be rich. And they don't want that. They want to remain rich. They want to remain in control of the country. And they want you to be a peon paying your extra money, $2, $3 a gallon for your gas. That's what they do, and they're good at it. Now, you're good at coming in here and saying, oh, no one would ever think of that. And I'm good at making sure you understand you're wrong. These people will profit from every little way they can. And they'll even construct laws, control politics and the media to maintain control of the price and rig the price of oil and natural gas and electricity to your house. That's what's going down right now. Yeah.
Okay, last one.
I'm just giving you what it really takes to generate some brain cell activity in your head. Okay? So sometimes I got to amp it up about 20 notches in order for you to understand what I'm saying. Get it? All right. Now that we know that the oil companies and coal companies are pretty much controlling the entire renewable energy systems, we don't even access all of our hydroelectric energy here in Washington. We actually only use 20% of the amount of hydroelectric energy that is produced in Washington and Oregon. That's how powerful the coal and oil companies are. Don't give up on me, baby. Isn't that like a David Soul song? Don't give up on us, Dave. Yeah. But no, seriously, it's a problem. And these companies, believe me, I have a lot of respect for coal and oil. But I don't think they should be running the show. Okay? Number one, they produce a tremendous amount of unnecessary waste. Number two, even the oil and coal companies are entering into the solar field as well as the wind power field. So there's no reason to keep them out of the loop. We as a nation need to transform. And we become much more sustainable when we have lower cost electricity at our house. So that's the goal I will try to achieve as president. Getting you rock bottom prices on electricity. And saving you money along the way in gas as well. Because we know that if most of the trading that goes on in the futures market is done literally in front of everybody, like playing a hand of blackjack with the cards up, the price of oil automatically drops as much as 50%. The very, very price of oil. So we're already looking at a tremendous oil glut out there. But we're still seeing prices of $2 to $3 per gallon, which is unnecessary. We could be paying consistently $2 a gallon for a long, long time instead of seeing spikes. Thanks, Ed. Hey, I'm glad I unbanned you last night. Sorry I got so angry at you, Ed. It was just a momentary ban. Sorry about that.
Wait.
It is a great subject, Substar.
I'm really sorry. I need complete control right now.
Yeah, you can take control. Feel free.
I know you like to do your thing, but
But you're
do that.
No, but you can do whatever you want. The thing is, I'm a little concerned that we need to ban a certain person that keeps just putting them in there.
No.
So you're just drawing that out?
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Well, let her draw out. No problem. We're doing a little testing on our show. We are running a separate recorded broadcast of the chat alone. And we're keeping a long file of certain hate messages in our chat room to get an indication as to who might have been this perp. One of the common... What's wrong?
Nothing. Okay, nothing.
One of the common problems with the perps is they keep coming back and they want to brag about their activity. So we're kind of really ratcheting this up so that we can actually see the perp say exactly what they want to say to get a reaction. We are expecting them to do that. Nobody's controlling anybody here. But we are talking about getting rid of this guy.
Okay.
Taking control.
Whoever you want.
Like I said, nobody's going to get the chance to put an airhead idea into our show about some guy, a 15-year-old kid, getting more recognition than I've gotten in 7 years. Okay? If you think that is some sort of a joke, enjoy all you want. You'll be laughing all your way to finding out that they're going to screw you over royally. Let me tell you what's coming. During last Christmas, Barack Obama signed 3,500 laws into effect, affecting coal and oil. Not in a good way. Not a way to actually solve the problem by creating a brand new technology that will help loop carbon, but rather by taxing every single bit of coal produced, making it almost impossible for a coal industry to operate. 770,000 jobs are at stake here. So as the months proceed, from now until next year, you're going to gradually see electric go up, the cost of the amount of coal production go down, jobs lost across the nation, and gradual reliance more and more on oil. Oil being the primary way they're now making electricity. and not leaning heavily on renewable energy, like 30% that they expect, but rather leaning more heavily on oil. So, and like I said, the hydroelectric production isn't even presenting itself as a viable green energy solution because they keep suppressing it. The Democrats in Washington got rid of a dam that was constructed, a hydroelectric dam to create electricity. The Democrats in Washington spent $40 million of our taxpayer money to get rid of a dam, literally taking it all the way down because it didn't provide enough safe haven for the salmon to migrate north or inland. Salmon were their primary goals, not electricity and cutting back on coal, but protecting some salmon, which they could have literally gone down and picked up with a net and carried up the hill. But their solution was to destroy literally a dam that was produced for many dollars. Spend $40 million to break it apart. Shows you how completely environmentally inept the Democrats have become. Our energy policy is to rely more and more on renewable energy, except we're not going to shut out coal and oil. We're going to partner with coal and oil to make sure that they do the right thing and make sure that the drilling operations are ethically done, not a mile out and a mile deep, but right near borders where we can actually control it, where there won't be mishaps. You know, I support the Keystone Pipeline. I think it'll make a very good backbone to the American energy spectrum. It'll provide us with energy self-sufficiency in the event of a cutoff from the Middle East. It's a win-win for everybody, including Canada. So I'm surprised Barack Obama has stepped in the way of the Keystone Pipeline. I'm really shocked, actually. And there have been good reviews about some of the constructs that are involved in it. So I'm going to be moving forward in 2017 with the Keystone Pipeline. All right? Finally, I know. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
Now can I remove him from the room?
It's not that, but go ahead.
Well, what have we been doing for the past? I mean, all I saw was
that.
Oh, that. Okay, thank you. Huh. I didn't even know.
I know. That's why I did what I did, because I knew that.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
We got what we wanted. The elicited response.
At least I got what I wanted, but
yeah,
I understand.
Well, sometimes you have we elicit a response from chat, and we got exactly what we were expecting. So great. I want to give people more self-sufficiency. Yeah, I really do, and I like the idea of sustainable living and this tiny house movement.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, I really, one thing I would definitely do is move away from the U.S. being so dependent on all these international laws.
Right.
That when I found out, yeah. I have to say, when I found out that with the international laws, like
regarding residency,
building code,
yeah,
that we are required to have electricity and running water to live. When people have lived millennia that way,
I know.
I mean, that's one thing that electrician that came into our room was.
Yeah, he was saying about how there's maritime law that's affecting all building codes, forcing everybody to be hooked up to water and power, making it impossible for you guys to do water catchment off your property. I mean, in Colorado, it's illegal. As president, I will make sure Colorado will not be able to say water catchment is illegal. I'll do everything I can to make sure that you guys can live efficiently within your own means, so that this country is going to build itself up literally by the bootstraps. We got to get our housing costs under control. We have to build our electricity grid up so that it's lower cost for all of you. You can run space heaters in the winter and save on oil heat.
Catchment. Is it like cash?
Water catchment. Like catch and and release.
Oh, really? I always envisioned it.
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Anyway, what water, somebody asked, what is it? It's basically water catchment is capturing water from the skies and using that water. So some people, when the water falls on your house, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
so in Colorado, you can smoke drugs, but you can't collect rainwater. That's about the size of it.
Basically. That's true.
That was almost funny. And that's what he says in our chat room. Almost funny as a guest in our show, everybody.
I know, he's almost always funny.
He really is almost always funny, yeah.
Yes.
Except I'm not laughing, because I would be really pissed off if I was, going out there going, dude, can't believe I can't, catch the water and drink it,
And I recorded all of that, Sarah Vox, so we'll see what people have to say, I don't know, but was recorded.
Oh, I forgot to plug in, my fault.
Okay. So yes, I did the best job I could, and I will continue to monitor and do the best job I can. But you understand why I didn't ban immediately.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't mind you taking over the station over there. That's good. The station is good for you. It's good for me. I don't mind sitting over here too, because
I mean, we can switch chairs maybe tomorrow or something.
Well, this show is really what it's all about. We come into this show for 4 hours a night, and we're interacting.
Well, you can consider us independent, basically. I mean, we are America's third party, so David is basically an independent.
Well,
yeah, maybe so,
yeah.
Miss Coco. I'll take that as a compliment.
I would recommend everybody cut back on their use of water in general.
I'm so glad you found this channel too, and yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I love hot showers, but
No,
I'll
but
try
I mean,
to cut back on my use of water.
they're down to 1.5 gallons. What is it? 1.5 gallons a minute in California. They were up to 2.5 gallons. These water heads.
Yeah.
And now they've got these new ones that put out like a spritz, so it's like
Pretty soon it's going to be like that little spritzer that they sell at the places up here where we have water. They have these things that you attach to your hose that like spritz you on a hot day to cool off.
Yeah.
That's going to be their new shower.
That'll be the new shower in California. Those little hoses
That'll
with
be
little
their California shower.
The Mister shower.
It is pretty bad in California, Zelfire.
It is. Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Like I said, I know a guy.
Not Sarah Bach.
I know a guy with a house down in California, and he comes up here on business in Seattle, and I think he runs the water in the shower because he's paying $400 a night for a Marriott Courtyard suite near Seattle. I was shocked when he told me that. It's like, so when he comes in there, he must run the shower for like 5 hours just to experience what it's like to not violate laws. Experience this $400 room in the shower. Yeah. We have a lot of water up here in California. They don't have water.
I don't believe in everyone
do.
giving up their guns. I believe police officers have guns and people have guns, and that's perfectly fine and should be perfectly legal. I mean, we have guns to protect ourselves, and not that the police do an excellent job of protecting us, I believe. But at the same time, I believe that we live in the United States of America so that we can protect ourselves, especially in cases where the police might not be able to respond in a timely manner. Fortunately, they respond in a very timely manner where we live, but I'm still not willing to give up my right to bear arms to give it all over to the police. Love you guys, but you understand, you probably wouldn't be willing to give up your guns either.
Right.
The police officers, that is.
Right. I mean, many police officers are gun right advocates like we are. So they understand that.
It's mostly made up of love.
And everyone should know that gun control has preceded every Holocaust in mankind's history. Every time there's been a genocide committed, it's always been preceded by gun control. They try to disarm the population, and that's when tyranny happens. So we don't want that to happen, and by design, our Second Amendment was put in place to prevent tyrannical governments from taking over the guns of the citizens. And I would never want to do that. California, however, wants to confiscate 300 farms by eminent domain to an unapproved water project that Jerry Brown wants to do. With no approval, already he's moving on eminent domain to take over 300 farms. Now, these farms are purposely being dried up. I've talked about how I believe that chemtrails have led to the drought in California. I'm completely above board in my belief because I came up with the same hypothesis that another person, a very well-known person at geoengineeringwatch.org came up with, and his assessment was the same as mine. We've seen it happen in front of our eyes. We've seen silver oxide and various chemicals, aluminum, barium, and strontium, and selenium put in our atmosphere, and what that does is it aggregates water. It brings water into our area. I've got green grass, and we're in the middle of August.
Why, did you close things?
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Please don't.
We've got green grass, and I'm in the middle of August. You're out of water. You got brown grass in California. You're holding on to the last bit of it. The fact is, we have been purposely made wet up here. We've had the most rain in the past 2 years than any other time in the history of Washington, right here on the coastline. So they're bunching up the water here and they're dehydrating it in California, and their goal is a terribly nefarious goal of controlling land rights and water rights, much like this confiscation of 300 farms by eminent domain in California. Jerry Brown is the communist arm of this corporatocracy. And what they want to do, and they're literally being funded by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. I'm serious. They're buying up actual Sonoma County water rights, and they're literally controlling and literally going to charge more and more and more and more for water. They've already done it in South America, in countries like Bolivia, where people were actually revolting because they couldn't get decent water prices. So this is a common behavior that these industrial leaders and monetary elitists are trying to do. We, as Americans, are going to have to assemble this party to stop them, because they've already completely got the two parties by the short hairs, and they're pulling the reins. And the two parties will do whatever they tell them to do. And anyone who goes against the two parties, they try to hate and run name-calling operations, or run an attack on me, claiming I'm some bad person or something, because they can't handle the fact that I'm building this third party to challenge them. They can't handle that. They're incredibly concerned that somebody like me, who's going to come up with great answers for this country and solve America's problems in the middle of the political spectrum, can take and get a foothold on their little power game, where all they're doing is leeching money from your tax dollars and giving it to a bunch of corporate pigs like Donald Trump, so that he can have 4 bankruptcies. And then they put him in place and have him run as a third-party candidate. They got this whole thing worked out, and the only way we can stop them is to activate word of mouth and activate the American voter. That's the only way. No other way we're going to do it, because they control the media, they control YouTube, they control all aspects of your life, except for your mouth. Now, I urge all of you to use your mouth and tell people how bad the problem is, and how we need to get legalization of marijuana, so that none of us have to be constantly harassed, and we can start seeing brand new technologies developed that will actually save us a lot of money. In the textile sector, in the fabric sector, in the lumber sector, houses can be built out of hempcrete. Countless new products can be developed because of the legalization of marijuana. But these two parties will not legalize. They've proven it time and time again. Hey there, still too lazy? Welcome. All right. Yeah, I don't really like them. But use your mouth, yeah. And tell your friends and family, even though they don't want to hear it, keep complaining, because frankly, I don't know any other way. We have a cable TV plan, but unless we receive funding, donations, we're not going to be able to deploy it. And if you guys don't have any money, I understand that, but you can tell people online. You can mention @thirdparty when you tweet. You can mention AmericasThirdParty.com and our website. That's probably the best thing you can do. Wow, we've got a lot of people coming in here. Great. Well, if you are of the belief that a two-party system is failing, like I am, you really have come to the right place. Because we are average Americans who have just kind of reached the limit to what we can possibly comprehend. And we've decided that this country needs to be run by Americans, not by a bunch of crony capitalists and suck-ups that get their way because they schmooze and get drunk every day at parties with a bunch of rich people. That pretty much sums up the Democratic Republican Party. They have $50,000 plate dinners, and somehow they're able to avert federal election requirements and get away with this. It's unbelievable, the atrocities that are being committed by these crony parties, and we need to take them down. Politically, we need to bring them down a peg or two to make them accountable, because they're never going to be accountable for their own problems. You think the Democrats care about the spending, the waste that they put into our budget?
Sorry.
We have a cable TV plan where for as low as $5 a TV spot, we'll be able to reach out across the country and draw 15,000 people per spot into our show. That's how many people will see our cable TV ad. This will break past the YouTube social control mechanism that our government has put in place, where they can control the hits to our YouTube site. We will bypass the mainstream media, because we'll be hitting people in cable TV markets, penetrating up to 24 million homes. And we've got to do this in order to make this possible, and we can in the next in the next 6 months, we can actually implement this plan. But we need donations, anything over $5, and we need you get to continue pressing the word for America's Third Party. And you can do that in numerous ways. You can go to AmericasThirdParty.com and click on the poster in the middle. The voter revolt poster will give you a printable poster when you click on it that you can get print up for $1.33 at Office Max. You've got the ability to actually get an amazing bumper sticker for only $4 to tell people you're not going to go with Trump. You know, I want to ask you to not make any veiled threats against any of the political candidates here. Appreciate it.
All of that will be saved.
Everything you make, any veiled threats you make to political candidates will be saved, unfortunately.
Because we take those seriously just as much as we take something against us seriously.
If you guys really want to divert that anger you're feeling about your life and about how you don't have any opportunity and you're running out of an opportunity to make more money in life because they won't give you a decent education, or you're worried that the country doesn't care about you, we have a microloan program where everyone in the country will have a chance to take $1,000 and do something with it and make money back, enough to pay back $1,040 in 6 months and make another $1,000. And now if you flip that $1,000 in 2 weeks, we'll give you another $1,000, as long as you get $40 more onto that $1,000. So this is about the best plan we've ever come up with, and it's a microloan program that every American citizen will qualify for unless you have a criminal record. Now, if you choose not to pay that microloan program back, you'll automatically be pulled off the list of potential loanees. So you won't get a loan in the future. But that's the only penalty, okay? That means $1,000. I mean, I know some people will take that money and run. I'm sure that that's the case. But that'll still help the economy. There we go.
I got it.
Let's just take them out of the room now. Oh, you
Wait,
got all this?
No, I don't have all of that. I'm behind.
Wow. You really are behind.
I know. I know what I'm doing, though.
I know you do.
Could you?
Yeah.
Not helping.
What, me talking about you?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're just doing a show here.
Well, thank you for doing the show. Continue to do your show and ignore me.
All right.
Thank you. That will
You
help.
know, when people do shows and there's production in the background, you don't have people having to, work around you. It's a different environment.
You have a thing to look up anything you need to do over there. I know you can't show anything, but that's what you have.
No, I know. I'm not worried about the content of the show.
I missed a step. This is driving me crazy. I know.
Well, you just have to not worry about it.
I know. So let me just do what I'm doing, okay? Thank you.
Great, yeah. Did I overreact to this? No. Not at all.
I know, it's just you're grabbing the mouse, I guess, is what's...
Yeah, it's unfortunate that when we do a show on 2 monitors, one's a 23-inch touchscreen, the other's a 19-inch regular monitor, LED monitor, and we've got a separate laptop, and this is a small-time operation. This equipment would have cost close to $50,000 20 years ago. We got all this for $1,500, which is a huge savings, but the bottom line is we have to do it all right here. We don't have a production crew in the background. We don't have the ability to do split screen right now because of obvious limitations on Skype. I would automatically bring in a split screen if we could take Skype calls. So our next goal for a lot of you who really want to talk, like from other countries, I know many of you are in China and Japan and want to get on the conversation. Seriously, we have people who'd like to call us.
Whatever.
We are going to have the ability to have that very shortly. We're going to be setting up a different system, so we'll be able to, handle Skype communication without any IP interference. And right now, Skype is incredibly insecure. Whenever you get a contact, that contact can see your IP address. And when they see your IP address, you become vulnerable to what is called DDoS, which is distributed denial of service. And that's a tool that's been used against us for the past 7 years. We've been attacked numerous times. But we managed to shield our IP address long enough to keep this thing from breaking down and maintaining our show. A lot of you don't realize how much goes into a regular daily broadcast like this. It's almost unbelievable the amount of technical work that goes on behind the scenes. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but I don't know of any other broadcaster in the entire history of television broadcasting that's done as many shows as we have, Sarah and I. No, I can't think of one person. I mean, Desi and Lucy did 5 weeks of broadcasting. We've done 7 years of broadcasting. You know, I'm gonna have to.
Sorry.
I'm gonna take it over.
No, you're not. Unless you're going to go back to this point, you can do it from this point on.
The point
no.
point I'm making
I'm
is.
sorry. I know my faces. I will be happy.
No, but it's just that you're overreacting to the whole situation. It's like you're just having kind of a meltdown because you have to cut and paste.
I know what I'm doing.
Well, I know you know what you're doing, but why are you melting down because you're cutting and pasting? I mean, what's the big deal?
Because when I cut
Explain
and paste,
that. Why is it so frustrating to do this? Just do it, you know?
I'm doing it. When I cut and paste, sometimes I make mistakes. I know
Well,
you're
then-
perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and pull this down here for a second. We're going to go to a video about Stanley Meyer for a second.
Well, it was during the oil embargo of the United States. It alarmed me that a little country over in the Far East could actually cripple the United States. And realizing that the entire industrial base of the United States and the world is based on the supply and the utilization of energy, it became imperative that we must try to bring in an alternate fuel source and do it very quickly. Of course, I thought originally with the right type of funding, we could possibly get it in within 6 months. But reality shows that the 12 to 15 years was more correct in this projection.
Back in the 70s, Stan Meyer set out single-handedly to solve America's energy problems. He decided to do it using water, the world's most abundant storehouse of hydrogen, which is a far more powerful fuel than oil. For 15 years, Meyer has been fighting to get his inventions taken seriously.
Most inventors have to be a loner. You have to be somewhat thick-skinned and don't rely on other people to support you, because they will not. More times than not, an invention is really stolen from the inventors. Even in my prior development of high technology, I've had patents taken from me. I learned from the School of Hard Knocks to be very cautious.
Meyer has always stood out against the crowd. He has no formal qualifications as a scientist because he didn't wait to graduate from high school, leaving early to go straight into research at the high-powered Battelle Institute in his native Ohio. Now he works full-time as a private inventor. He's built a device with potentially revolutionary implications. There is nothing startling about a machine that can extract the hydrogen from water. What is highly unusual is that it should do so with ordinary tap water. The conventional method is called electrolysis. Meyer has turned that.
It's pretty amazing, that Stanley Meyer vehicle. I mean, it's just so phenomenal that people can make amazing vehicles that can run so well on water, and it's just phenomenal technology.
It's great, and it's so wonderful that he was poisoned and killed, because that way he can't do anything to help anybody. You know, think about it.
Yes.
I can't believe that Stanley Meyer dies and nobody gives a crap.
Yeah, he went out of a restaurant
Screaming that he was poisoned and nobody cares.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, I ran a story about 4 years ago saying, and there's already countless videos out there on YouTube lambasting me for saying that Stanley Myers was poisoned. And there's a person that looked it up and said, no, he had an embolism. No, we're not in the Illuminati. We would never join a secret society. So when I hear about a person like Stanley Meyer getting an embolism, I'm going, okay, this guy grabbed his throat and said he was being poisoned to his brother and a business client. And the business client was from Northrop,
right,
one of the key developers. And,
yeah,
you know, we don't know what happened that fateful day when this genius, who'd never developed any of his plans in any traditional scientific way, he never had a CAD-CAM drawing. To this day, his CAD-CAM, or his drawings, his engineering plans cannot be read by any scientist out there. You look at it, it's like gobbledygook. You can't make sense of it. So he essentially had his entire plans in his mind, and he kept secrets in his mind that no one would ever be able to get to. But he died with them. And now there are other people reverse engineering his technology and are now coming up with ways of breaking the hydrogen-oxygen molecule and getting zero-point energy.
Fortunately, we have YouTube today, so people can follow so many streams and find out about zero-point energy and all things like that. Yes, that's pretty obvious, Sarah Bach.
So what we do on a nightly basis is process information and try to come up with what's really happening. Now, there's a company called Elio Motors that has been around for the past 4 years telling people that they could have a car that gets 84 miles per gallon and it's only $6,800. Now this is almost too good to be true. I looked at it and I said, God, I really kind of like the whole idea, and I'm wondering, where are they? And for 2 years we've been waiting for these things to be released. And up here in the corner it says number of current reservations.
Yeah, it doesn't say number of vehicles built.
So 44,000 people have actually registered, meaning they put money down in advance of receiving this. Now, it's nice to say that you're going to come up with a car or a vehicle. This is a motorcycle, it's a trike, but it is 2-passenger. It's great to say in airware that this is going to be an amazing technology, and gosh, coming up soon. But how many of those people are getting burned for their initial investment, and how many years is it going to be before this guy produces a prototype beyond his few issues that he has? So I don't know if the market is real or make-believe at this point. I think it's a lot of airware coming out of people's mouths. All right. Very much so, yeah. I think that's true. I think there is a certain level of truth to that. Okay, moving on. And that's probably him too, saying that. See? It's called looped dialogue. They talk about themselves endlessly. It's been a mob deal ever since JFK was killed. If you think it's not a mob deal...
So why don't you guys all reveal all of your Skype names and which Skype name actually called in and what your IP addresses are? Why don't you reveal all that in chat too?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
One can only hope.
Yeah. You know, our show has been going on for 7 years. That's why I went off camera for a second to talk to Sarah. Our show has been going on for 7 years. And I've been probably, slammed harder than any other online talk show host in the history of the internet. And the last thing that's going to stop me from broadcasting is somebody cutting and pasting and getting upset about it. So Sarah realized this whole cutting and pasting thing is ridiculous. If it takes too long to do that, we have a recorded video archive of our show, which I already put in place 4 days ago. So if we ever want to go back and look at the chat and find out anybody who was, bad or naughty or nice, you people that are really good chatters and you've got good opinions, and I want to get to Coral Castle in a second, thank you.
The Coral Castle is amazing.
That's a good one, Old Irish Reb. You people are nice and have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about, period. The fact is, bad people bad things happen to bad people, period, not good people.
I thought I had nothing to worry about. So I would still say be cautious, and even though you have nothing to worry about, if you're a nice person like me, just respond calmly to anything that happens to you, and be nice to the police officers.
That's right. Comply.
I do believe in telling people to comply. Yes, comply with authority. You
put your hands up and say, take whatever.
The big thing, especially when tensions are high, it's the best policy is to comply. I think that matters can be resolved afterwards when everyone's in a much more calm manner. Now,
Yeah, well, go ahead, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I do, I understand people think whenever someone says comply that, oh, then you're like, well, the Jews complied in Nazi Germany, and, I'm not saying that.
What we're doing right now is far more important than any person, one of us, trying to stop us. Basically, you individuals who are trying to stop us cannot possibly challenge all the effort we put in. And all the supporters we have in our room right now is saying, you're doing the right thing, David and Sarah. We like you. So all of the negativity that comes in our chat room is just documented, and we move on. We are going to build this party because it's the right thing to do, and its time has come. We've waited long enough for the two parties to fix our economy, and we've seen how they just simply do whatever their corporate donors tell them to do. We've seen these people get compromised and ultimately give in to all their money donors. It's not going to happen with us. We're going to have bylaws in place to prevent that from happening. No paybacks.
Why are you tracing people's IPs, James?
You're not allowed to trace people's IPs here, James. That's illegal. Yeah. I hope you realize that. Yeah, you're not allowed legally to violate the terms of service in the Vaughn network. Only Vaughn can trace IPs with a subpoena. Well, Alki David had $1 billion, or more than $1 billion from his mom and dad. So it's not like Alki's playing with the same hand we have. We have a gallon of milk that we paid 50 cents for in our refrigerator. You know, I don't know any of you people who know how to save or conserve on money, but actually we got a half a gallon for 50 cents. We got 2 half gallons for 50 cents today. I doubt he spent 50 cents on a half gallon of milk.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Nice deal, David.
Thank you.
Always looking for those great deals.
Well, you found the deal. My dealdar clued in on some Fred and Jerry's, Jerry Garcia,
Ben and Jerry, something raspberry chocolate or something.
79 cents a pint. I bought 8 pints today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a raspberry chocolate fudge. It's called. I'm not sure if it's the Jerry Garcia or not. It's the Cherry Garcia, yeah. We got 8 containers of something like Cherry
raspberry.
Garcia.
It's like Cherry Garcia, but instead of cherries, it's raspberries.
Well, we're moving forward with a plan that is veritably bulletproof, and a flotation system is in place.
Sarah will stick with David forever.
And I am a scrapper. And we've got a flotation system in place here to keep this whole thing rolling. I communicate my thoughts with Sarah, and she knows everything that's on my mind.
He does.
So that's one thing she's got, as an asset she's got here. If I'm concerned about something, I just stopped the show because she was kind of working on the cut and paste thing.
He was concerned that I was stressed out, and he did a great job for me. He found a workaround so that I won't get so stressed out.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, and this recorded broadcast, they're only a half a gigabyte per recorded broadcast, and with an extra 3 terabyte drive, I got plenty of space for this stuff. So it's not like I'm running out of hard drive space. Technology's really caught up to this.
We can always buy more. It's so amazing.
You know, I'm thinking of a 10 terabyte drive just to keep backups of the chat logs. I think that'd be fun. No, we're not in a mob or part of a secret society. You are paranoid. Yeah, just relax, man. We're just average people like you. What is the biggest hard drive you can get right now? Is it 10 terabytes? Does anybody know? Yes, I'll open guest chat up in just a bit.
Oh, Jane Payne Gacy?
No.
I don't know if I really want to open up guest chat.
No.
Really? I mean, is it that difficult to make an account here at Vaughn?
Yeah. What's the problem with accounts?
What's the problem? Why guests? I know it's supposed to open it up to more potential people, but...
Well, the reason why I record the broadcast chat now and we didn't before, because we've always recorded our broadcasts. We have about 6,000 hours, 7,000 hours of broadcasts recorded.
It's pretty amazing.
But the reason why I record the chat now is because I'm looking at ideas too. I go through the chat and read, because I speed read 6,000 words a minute. I'm able to read a tremendous amount and pick up little anecdotes rapidly. So this interaction and this viable, rich internet experience we're all having is exactly what we need for the White House. It really, it's a win-win for all of us, because I get to read all kinds of good ideas that you guys are saying.
I love, some of the chatters do have really excellent ideas.
But
that's right. Of course, do you have the best ideas, David?
No, I mean, you know, honestly, Sarah, some of our ideas have actually come from chat.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Yeah, like your moat came from Meow TV too.
Yeah, Meow TV's moat idea, yeah. Brilliant concept. An idea to create a moat around the lower portion of the United States, which would help prevent non-U.S. citizens from coming into our country illegally. Yeah, all of that's possible. Here's his moat idea right here. Meow TV sent me this little picture. I don't know. And he wants to build this moat on the southern border with Mexico.
Good night, Sunstar. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night, Sunstar. Thank you for coming in. One of our longest viewers in time. Way back in the early days, Sunstar is still here every night, folks. Thank you for coming in, Sunstar.
With 10,000 names, right?
You know, John, Jane, whatever your name is, transgender, Gacy, you know, it's not likely we're going to lose voters. We have a very evolved society now. As long as people know and understand that we believe in God and we have, you know, personal relations with the Lord, I don't think they're going to worry about which religion we're involved in. But yeah, that's an interesting idea he has. So we certainly will look at that as a possible viable solution in the future. I just don't know how much energy and effort it would take to dig that moat. I'd have to do some serious calculations. But yeah, moat is possible for sure. Why not?
I don't know if I trust that site, Scissor Fight.
God. I have smoked weed before, yes. Sarah has never smoked marijuana. So she doesn't plan on it. I tried it when I was 21 and I actually enjoyed it. It was kind of nice. So I have occasionally vaped. It's a nice experience, especially when I don't have to, you know, have a show to do and I'm relaxing. Watching a TV show sometimes is fun. What do you mean what happened to my hair? My hair is in good shape. What happened to your hair? Something wrong with my hair again? Wow. You guys are really superficial there, man. Yeah, you need to be lower your bar of superficiality. Sarah has never smoked any marijuana, Rodney. Yeah, Rodney thinks his biryani character is working for him. Sorry, Brianna. I mean,
No,
A.K. Rodney.
I've never smoked any joints.
Watch how upset she's going to get when I accuse her of being Rodney. Sarah would never do that. She doesn't want to do that. Chase, you've got an amazing picture there. What is that? Is that an image of a spacecraft back there, Chase?
It's his artwork.
Well, you got some pretty cool artwork. You just stepped up a whole new level there, Chase. This is the Hadfield Space Station. And there's a flying disc in the background. Check this out. That is an amazing picture. Look at that. Wow, Chase. Wow, you're amazing. Yeah. Did you do this in art? In your deviant art form? Are you drawing this stuff? You know, it's interesting. Our government is now willing to spend $500 million to deliver items to the space station. And guess who we're going to give that money to? Russia. Because our NASA space station is pretty much dead in the water. Isn't that amazing? There's absolutely no Photoshop without the white pixels around them, yeah. Have you investigated this as a possible hoax?
Thank you, Senior Pot. No, I never said I smoke reefer. Never.
No, Sarah's never said she smoked marijuana. That's absurd.
I don't smoke marijuana and I never have.
Yeah. There it is.
Thanks, Nicole.
China's price index is warping again. Scissor Fight has it's down yet another 3%.
Looks a little satellite. Looks like a hat for me.
Wow. So now we have a down China price index. Again, we featured this last night, folks. If you have seen our broadcast from last night, another 3.68% correction in the Chinese price index. The yuan is still dropping in value. I know you guys don't want to look at Sarah's shirt, so I'll just put this over her shirt so you can look at that Chinese price index.
Conservative in my dress.
Wow. Yeah, dropping still to this day. So the real value of the Chinese yuan will begin to show its face. Or this could be an artificial attempt by China to lower the cost of their currency so that people will be enticed to buy their more products. You know, Paul, you're one of those flat earth guys. Yeah, I really don't think that, it's a valid statement to claim that the earth is flat. I think it's time to move on to another conspiracy theory. Maybe make a tinfoil hat.
What about the globe, Paul? Isn't a globe a good, accurate description of the Earth?
I just don't think the flat Earth really works for me. There's just no reason to think that the flat Earth is a viable theory. Okay.
I do think that certain representations of the Earth make certain parts of it seem bigger than they actually are, smaller than they actually are.
Hey, Mr. Haney, please don't in any way cut and copy my words out of context again, or you will be banned. And I've kept you in a long time because you like to cut and copy, but that's your choice. States ration birth certificate after paper company closes down. Yeah, so they're running out of birth certificates because paper is no longer, a viable entity.
Well, they should just charge for the certificates.
Dolphin on a wheel.
It's beautiful, baby. What's it?
That's very inappropriate. Ms. Hatsune, you know that it's inappropriate to do that. Please don't ever post something like that. You actually have something that's funny. Okay, this is what according to Meow TV, this is what the Earth really looks like. That we've been led to believe that it's
good.
That it's not.
I like that.
Yeah, this is the Earth, Sarah.
Yes, as we've been led to believe, like it's all rounds.
Right.
Like a perfect ball, a perfect circular sphere. And it doesn't make sense that it would be a perfect circular sphere because when you look at other planets aren't that way.
So you're saying that Meow TV is saying that this is all a big hoax, the thing about the Earth
he's saying,
being round?
Like if you take he's saying basically the Earth does appear round.
Okay.
But mainly because the oceans are so deep and water elevates to cover that depth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
just like the moon isn't perfectly round.
Sure looks round to me. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, the moon looks round to me. I don't know about you, but
well, there's craters and
boy, we went black there. You think aliens have taken over our show? I don't know.
I think you've taken over our show.
Oh, we're coming back. Oh, we're back at you. Okay. That was scary.
What's with the music?
That's called the background. Welcome everybody to our show, America's Third Party. Okay. All right, so too many episodes of Twilight Zone for Steven. There you go. People knew the Earth was round when they saw the shadow made by it on the moon years ago. People as a race are not so dumb. Well, that's coming from a person with more intelligence than most, because some people are really starting to believe the Earth is flat again, and that fluoride water is supposed to be a natural occurring thing that we naturally drink. Fluoride-enhanced stupid water. So yeah. Pretty soon the Earth will be flat, according to people drinking fluoridated water.
All right, what do you think a reward should be, Sarah Bach? Banning the person?
Think about it, yeah. I like Sarah's lasagna better than mine, but I can cook better than anybody I've ever met. I'm a good cook. Yeah, the flat Earth is not winning people over tonight. I don't know, that's just not working for us.
Good night, James. I know you'll make another account and come in. I don't know how you've done that.
Anybody who promotes another candidate here will be removed because it's a simply controlled opposition, a diversion tactic by the media.
I need to actually probably research that guy and go after every single article written about him.
It doesn't matter. The fact is...
About you.
No, he's a diversion.
Running for president.
The guy's a diversion.
So then they can find out about the real candidates.
It doesn't really matter. You're not a flat earth guy? You know, frankly, the Gall-Peters projection map is simply, and they've always said it was just an artificial rendering of what they project the Earth to look like.
Thanks,
You know, Nicole, I honestly don't make homemade mac and cheese. It disgusts me.
David doesn't even eat mac and cheese when he goes out.
I love the taste of it, so much so that I would probably end up eating an entire plate full of mac and cheese, and I would end up hating myself for it. So yeah, I've learned to cut back from mac and cheese because it was made by the mob. Everything is about the mob with you, buddy. What's your problem? All right. You've been violated? Yeah. So we've talked a lot about people in the government using technology to secretly hide their emails. This story propagated earlier. I was kind of shocked that this has been going on, but you know, not a lot of things surprise me now. I talked to a person who got out of jail, and he said that everybody in the jail that he was working, basically there were people in the jail that were all on their iPads watching porn while they were making $27 an hour as guards. And that doesn't surprise me either. So it wouldn't be surprising to see the Ashley Madison list of police and government officials using official email accounts to have affairs. I mean, that seems like something that would fit the whole concept of just sucking off the government tit while watching tits and ass on their porn tablet. I just think this whole world is turning into kind of a disaster zone. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Oh, you said I did say tits and ass. Thank you. I said it because it's just a reality. I mean, those aren't censored words, by the way.
I've got you. I understand what you're saying, Edge, and if you do have that information, yes, please do. Turn that information, all the information you have, over to the correct authorities. And maybe there's other authorities that you might want to report your information to.
Now, I was against anchor baby problems many years ago, and 7 years ago I ran a campaign, as I'm running now, against illegal aliens coming in here and having anchor babies. And one of my plans, which is in place for our future, is Pay Americans First. And Pay Americans First will prevent that from happening. We're not going to just give a mother of an anchor baby free Section 8 housing. We're going to say to the anchor baby's mother, you have a chance to have...
You have two choices.
Go ahead.
One, you can take your child back to your country. When your child is ready to, is an adult and wants to come back into this country, they're more than welcome. They are a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. Or you can leave your child in the care of the United States government while you return to your country alone.
Yeah.
Those are your two choices.
Exactly. Pay Americans First. Pretty simple deal.
We will be changing the immigration laws to make it easier for people to become a U.S. citizen legally and more difficult for people to come into this country illegally. We actually want people to become citizens while in their home country through our embassy system. We have incredible embassies throughout the world with ambassadors in many countries. And all of those countries should have a system where someone can actually become a U.S. citizen, have a certain amount of money if they need to, but become a U.S. citizen because they love our country and they want to eventually come here. They should also have as a caveat that they cannot qualify for any U.S. aid in any way, shape, or form. Even if they are technically a U.S. citizen, it would be a trial period until their full citizenship status is given to them. During that trial period, they cannot receive benefits of any kind, Medicaid, food stamps, housing, none of that.
Right. Thank
Now,
you.
refugee status needs to be looked at as well, and I do understand people fleeing their country, and that's definitely an issue, but when you have refugees being given more privileges than U.S. citizens, there's a problem with that.
Okay, somebody said, when are you going to hit the road? We're not going. We're too busy right here. We're focusing. Our primary goal is to get through this summer.
No, Iron King.
And build this party from our location here every night. So you guys are becoming our emissaries of goodwill around the world.
I can say the people that are currently on track to become citizens, we can say, so currently, for instance, there's an issue to become citizens. A U.S. citizen, you have to have so much money in a bank account, you have to have someone sponsor you to come to the United States, and you have to live in the United States for a certain number of years before you become a citizen. We want to look at all of those laws and, like I said, make it a little bit easier to become a citizen so that the people that are currently in the process aren't, it'll actually be easier for them than more difficult.
Yeah, that's right. And JFK is now using an advanced tracking system for cell phones.
If you were born here, you are automatically considered a U.S. citizen. That's a natural born citizen clause in the United States Constitution.
New York's busiest and one of America's largest airports is now displaying real-time wait times for major queues. And the wait times are powered by beacons monitoring passengers' mobile devices. Isn't that cute? So this is a merge and a mashup of technologies that's really kind of cool. It could very well be good for our country, saving people time in lines, waiting. You know, one of the things that I want to do is, and I'll explain, get rid of the TSA. Because the TSA is costing us $7 billion a year. We have men and women in the U.S. military earning a salary right now that could easily do their, that's right, streamline, thank you, easily do their work. The TSA uses a device that doesn't even work properly, called the rapid scanner. And the rapid scanner has proven to be a veritable failure. It's caught no panty bombers since it was installed. And the overall cost of the rapid scanner has been an enormous, get this, $24 billion to look at people's body parts. Like that. Isn't that crazy? So $24 billion of your money went into this nightmare system that should never have been put in place. We don't need it, and it doesn't really work. So what we want to do is take the rapid scanners, use them, because I don't believe anything should go to waste, on luggage.
Use the rapid scanners on luggage.
Yeah, so don't use it to look at people's body parts. You're into that kind of thing? Well, unfortunately, too many cases where perverts are sitting there with newspapers in their lap going, even they'll tell this to guys or girls, hey, could you go through the line again? Yeah. They look pretty good, yeah. I mean, there was this one guy that had a woman go through 3 times and she was demoralized. She has a lawsuit against the TSA because they literally were looking at her body. And the government said, oh, we never keep these files online. It's going right to a redundant server. I mean, they literally are watching everybody that goes through and their body parts. Be respectful to Sarah, that's right. Please show respect for her. Yeah, she was overwhelmed with a lot of cutting, copying, and pasting because she was doing all kinds of things and it was just getting out of hand. So we slowed the show down a little bit. We've got a different pace going on, and we've got everything on another server recorded so we can see it later. If there's anybody in here attacking us, we can certainly, cope with that on a daily basis. All right, the town of Massachusetts decided to stop arresting drug users.
I already have that over there. I'm
right.
reading it.
Tell me about it. What's going on?
So basically, between January and it's just.
Go ahead.
Anyway, in the first 3 months, in this Gloucester, I think it's Gloucester, Mass. I think it is. Mm-hmm. No, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, they had 4 deaths from drug overdoses. So they said that we're gonna stop arresting people that come to us. And actually, if you come to us and ask for help, we're gonna pay for your treatment. They placed 116 people in treatment. They haven't charged any with criminal charges. All were placed on the same day that they came for treatment. And they've actually managed to bargain down the cost of the of a life-saving detox drug from local pharmacies because they have been referring so many people. And so the cost of the program so far is less than $5,000. They've helped over 100 people.
Wow, that's great. Fantastic.
And like,
wow.
The
Thank you.
chief of that city said in a recent Facebook post, under $5,000 for 100 lives. That's pretty amazing. I really have to say I like that site. Nice job. Thanks for the link. Upworthy.com.
Upworthy.com. So yeah, if we can save money on these detox centers and use drugs that are effective, that'd be great. I know that.
Yes, dry socket. All lives matter.
I noticed that the methadone program is being run by a lot of shady characters. And I don't like that. I know the methadone costs are really exorbitant to our system. And you know, methadone is synthetic heroin. We're just giving them their snacky poo every day so that they don't go steal and rob your house. They can buy heroin. But with the cost of heroin going down rapidly because our country has been protecting the warlords, the opium warlords in Afghanistan for so long, I think methadone should be replaced by heroin. What do you think?
Methadone should be replaced by heroin as a treatment option?
Yeah. I think heroin is methadone, so why are we paying for methadone when we can get heroin cheaper?
Why don't we pay what they've done and use this life-saving detox drug instead of either one of those?
I agree. I agree 100%. But in the meanwhile, I think we could replace the highly costly methadone program with just cheap garden variety heroin sold on the street for $10 a dime bag.
I do not believe in corporal punishment for any children.
You see, nobody's asking the big question, why are we protecting the warlords and opium producers that are producing cheap heroin? Nobody even popped in with that question. Nobody seems to care that our country's defending warlords and opium leaders. It's that hidden reality that you're ignoring that I just alluded to. I don't really want people to replace their methadone with real heroin. I don't want young people overdosing on heroin. But seriously, our nation is so screwed up. We're out there running black op operations where the CIA is receiving $50 billion a year on the sale of heroin. So we need a serious reality check. I know. Donald Trump is a total joke, and I've asked you time and time to not talk about him on our show, Captain Howdy. He is a complete and utter joke. He is a shill for the Democratic Party, and it's not working. Ironically, Donald Trump is removing any chance of a GOP member winning the presidency because he's picking them apart with his unrelenting mouth. He has no limits, so he continually puts his foot in his mouth, and he seems to think that's going to work for him. And it's only impaling the Republican Party. Really.
I was going to take a break.
Thank you.
That's fine. Actually, I was going to leave for the evening. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Sarah. Thank you for doing all that work. I'm sorry it was so stressful, but you did really well. Thank you. Okay, now I get to sit in the big person's chair. There we go. Well, you can say whatever you want. I mean, I was trying to do a show, and, you know, I think she did a good job of recording hateful messages, but I do that every night on the fly. I get 10 or 15 of these things recorded, so no need to get stressed out. All right. Good evening. So this program Donald Trump doesn't have. He doesn't have a plan to actually get American citizens U.S. dollars that we have in the system for you. If you need food stamps, they go to U.S. citizens, not non-U.S. citizens. Well, Paul, you're picking a really ridiculous subject to make an issue of. A map is the least of our worries, Paul. We've got a global meltdown of toxicity in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We've got the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, a literally boiling cauldron of leaking oil.
If Paul feels so strongly about the map, he should make his own map and give it freely to all the educators in the world.
So my pay Americans first. Yeah, you could give the map freely to all the educators in the world because it shouldn't be charged if it's not accurate, right, Paul?
No, he should not charge for his accurate map, and the more he promotes his accurate.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, she's saying that you should have a better, more accurate map, Paul, and you should give it out for free. and become the Google of map producers. You become the map app guy. Do something with your anger, Paul. Direct it. Make an app that's better than the map app on Google. When you Google Gaga, you make a meta map app. Okay? There you go. All right, so we've really using the mind and the power of thinking, we've been able to navigate our way through some tough spots, like, is the earth flat? I think we can now move on to, are vaccinations causing cancer and Alzheimer's and autism? Are you ready to move in that direction? Or do you want to still work on the flat earth issue? David, you realize the subcontractors are actually behind the illegals, but he's proposed to stop these guys from what they're doing. Old Irish Reb, we have already on the books an adequate amount of legislation to put all of those subcontractors in prison for hiring illegals. So when the subcontractors are arrested, guess what? You can do your own contracting. I personally know a couple, that ordered a bathroom from a company that uses subcontractors and illegal aliens. Guess how much their bathroom costs? And then I'll tell you more about it. Just give me a roundabout figure. What a remake of a bathroom. Extreme bathroom makeover. Guess how much it costs? Just ballpark. Any number? Okay, we got North Carolina shoveling money into the teachers' hands. Thank you. 2,000, 15,000. No. 2,000? You couldn't get a new toilet lid. You couldn't get a flushable bidet for $2,000, made in Japan. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you the quote. $40,000. $40,000. Now, I'm not kidding you. And this is in the state of Virginia. That's how much the bidded quote was. He wasn't home the day his wife signed on the dotted line. He said, oh, okay, well, that's a good deal. And she signed on the dotted line without consulting her husband. Now, oh, it's an unbelievable ripoff. They find out, and I keep getting updates, they find out that the toilet is not included in that fee. The fixtures and the faucets are not included in that fee. And they looked at their shower wall. Now get this. Their shower wall is made out of cinder block with gray paint on top of it, like marine paint on the cinder block. I mean, we're talking about a $40,000 bathroom remake by a bunch of subcontractors, where they literally took cinder block and covered it with black or with gray marine paint and call it, we're done. It's cool, man. This is high-end industrial. So they're scraping corners, they're hiring illegal aliens, they're making money so they can do enough coke to get really high at night and go out the next day and go, yeah, man, let's just do it, man. Let's just lay this drywall, man. Have you ever seen these contractors that are coked out of their heads? I met a deck guy one day that is the biggest meth head I've ever seen. He was like jumping all around saying, man, I love to do decks. Yeah, I just love decks. We can do any kind of a deck. Say, let me show you my book of decks. It's like, I've never seen a meth head like that before. But he was making money, seriously money. They like to do things like that. They'll scrub out a garden hose if you give them cotton in a long tube. They'll spend the whole night cleaning the garden hose if you say it's dirty. All right, no, oxygen is totally legal, and it's legal to breathe. They haven't outlawed that yet. Your brother renovated your house, attic to basement, wall to wall for $25,000. I know. Tell me about it, Ed. Your brother gave you a pretty good value. I don't need Daniel. You're not going to be able to. If you want to record the broadcast, just go ahead and go back to our YouTube video the next day. Take the time and re-engineer it and have me doing it like over and over again, and you'll get a real good laugh out of it. Okay? And then go viral on it and ask, and people will say, "Who is this guy acting like a meth head?" And just say, "That's the guy running for president." Just take it out of context and just go ahead and run it. Because apparently I'm not allowed to actually talk without being, violated on a daily basis. So, hey, yo, David, yeah, wash your diaper. Brianna, you're starting to not make sense. Yeah. Are you being treated for schizophrenia, Brianna? You can be honest here. Just say yes or no. Yeah, so there are people that actually will abuse the subcontractor relationship, and they will screw you over. So if we prosecute anybody who's building a house with illegal aliens, we're doing you a favor. We're helping consumers who are normally going to get fleeced by these people going, oh yeah, I'll do your bathroom for 40 grand, ma'am. You know, the coke dribbling down their nose. Oh yeah, I'll do it for you, man. You know, you can only imagine how these people are. They'll say whatever you want to hear just to get the deal. You know, I think water already is banned in some cities now, Captain Howdy. So just move to those cities and stop drinking, you know. What's so sad is I saw the same thing done with the subcontractors at a new IRS building. Guess who was doing most of the work? Illegals, again. Thank you. You see, old Irish Reb, it is the illegals that they are hiring to subjugate them and exploit their work. And a lot of these Mexicans are good people. They don't want to be, you know, back-breaking situations. They want to be protected. You know, I don't have a deep-seated hatred for Mexicans like Donald Trump does. I don't dislike women. I'm not a misogynist like Donald Trump apparently dislikes Megyn Kelly and her bleeding out of whatever. I don't seem to have an anger toward veterans like Donald Trump does when he hates on John McCain and his time as a POW. The nice thing about me is I really just want to work toward a solution. I want to find a way in which everyone can begin to get their little piece of the American pie. And I don't mean illegals, I mean citizens. And when those illegals become U.S. citizens through the fast-track naturalization plan, that's an orderly process. It's not like Barack Obama giving them free amnesty. They've got to go to their home country and go to the U.S. Embassy and pay that $1,000 fee, or whatever the fee is when we get down to it, how much it'll cost us to educate them and the paperwork necessary to, and the space necessary to give testing. Don't worry, Alex Jones copies me all the time. That's because when I first started my show, I sounded like this. Come on, everybody! You're going to be on the red list! You're going to be on the blue list! We're going to be all taken in an RFID! And he thought it was so funny that he just decided to talk like that. Let's move on. U.S. government admits that cannabis does kill cancer cells. Yeah, that's an old link. We got it 2 days ago. Been there, done that. We'll play it again for you, though. Yeah, we've got so much information coming in this show, and we're processing it so fast. Well, I know the RFID chips are real. I'm not trying to belittle you or Alex Jones. I'm just saying, when a guy likes the register a voice where you sound like you've got cancer developing, polyps developing on your vocal cords, he must have some real cool thing going on, you know, where he thinks that's important to talk like that. Yes, he does. He's been copying me for years. I am the original one and only truth guy. I represent the truth. These guys that you're referring to, Alex, he's a controlled opposition guy. He gets money doing that. I do this for free. U.S. just admitted that cannabis does kill cancer cells, so we really need to remove it from the list of controlled substances. I'm amazed that our hypocrite president hasn't done it already. I mean, didn't he admit that smoking most of his adult life? Well, let's be clear. I've smoked marijuana most of my adult life. Totally. Yep. Totally, dude. Well, Brianna, you are slipping into what is called psychobabble. And unfortunately for you, Brianna, that is not a good sign. Now, I'm not a psychiatric professional, but psychobabble is not something you should take lightly. Either that or you're on ecstasy right now, and you're chatting in the room. Psychobabble is one of those indications that you're having some problems. You may want to contact a professional and get them on the phone right away. You can drink the cannabis without the version that gets you high, but let's be honest, that's the best part. Yes, Coma Toasted. They found out that robots, even robots, get high. I'm not a doctor. There are people a little bit more intelligent, but not Einstein. Einstein had an IQ slightly below mine. That would explain his loose lips and wild tongue. I'm a little concerned that, you know, his concepts, which is failed science, junk science he came up with. The ridiculous formula called E equals MC squared was a joke. He came up with a joke. And then he was like laughing at everybody. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. He wasn't that bright because he came up with a way to kill off the entire planet with nuclear annihilation. You can't be that smart when you want to plan to kill the entire world off. And you got other people who have a little bit less of an IQ than me, like Stephen Hawking, who actually, in his greatest intelligent moment, believes that the only way we're going to survive is that we jettison off the planet to some unknown, godforsaken pit hole in the universe. Like we're going to go off in the middle of nowhere through radiation belts that are so strong they're going to break through and kill off our tissue as we enter the Van Allen belts. And Stephen Hawking believes that's the end-all solution for our entire problem. Isn't it amazing? Here is what is ruling the world. If the dollar bill could talk, this is what it would say. I am a piece of paper, and I control your entire life. You worship me. I know, and your love for money has turned you into a basic, wage slave. You need to separate from that. Now, when you say, please stop, BF Gunner, what is it you mean? Exactly. Please stop as in turn my systems off, remove my battery pack? Einstein was a joke. He was a laughable joke. Everybody in his community thought he was hilarious. He was a comedian. Tesla called him an idiot. Nikola Tesla, the person who innovated and created all these great technologies they're using right now, like HARP and chemtrails, and he was behind that entire great technology. The government is clearly doing that for a good reason, right? They're spraying atmospheric chemtrails in order to alter the atmosphere. Well, that was all part of his idea. You see, if you put a massive amount of electromagnetic material in the air, like chemtrails, and you control it with ionospheric electromagnetic pulses or harmonic progressive pulses, like HARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, you got the perfect storm. They can control weather, and no pun intended. That's the perfect storm. The combo is ideal. Einstein was a comedian. Yeah, this whole thing equals MC squared doesn't have any mathematical basis whatsoever. The uniform field theory was never developed and therefore is a junk science belief. I know a lot of my statements are challenging your cherished beliefs. That's why I am one of the greatest iconoclasts that ever walked the face of the earth. I'm here to break up your perfect little world and question your reality. Yeah. All right. No, I don't need anything. I'm not stressed either. If you think I'm stressed, Sarah was stressed earlier because she was, very urgently trying to get a lot of the stuff cut and pasted. He did that. All right. What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you saying? When you say BS, Dave, could you qualify that? Because that's not a very scientific term. BS, Dave. Well, move on, man. Just because you're not keeping up doesn't mean you can't catch up. Sarah Bach, that's getting old. And calling it ramblings? Let me ask, does anybody in the room really care if Sarah Bach is here? Does he have any friends? And does anyone really want him here? Just speak up. Anybody? No, you don't care. You don't want him in. Sarah Bach, this is not for you to decide. Does anybody want Sarah Bach in here? No, no, no. Okay, by popular alienation, we are removing you from the show. Psychoram, yeah, right, Dave. Okay. You're not liked here, and you've been banned officially. Thank you. God. And I'm going to add him to the list, okay, Sarah? Yep. Thank you. See, I cleared it with her. We try to work through. We're partners in this enterprise, and it's a very difficult process. And he's in the perma-ban list, along with Cesspool and all the others. Somebody said I have to stand up more straight because I was kind of slouching when I described how it was to be swatted. And this woman who's 5'3" interviewing me out in the front, I didn't even know the camera was taking pictures. And the guy was wiggling his camera, like holding it like he wasn't even, and he was filming me from a low angle. All the, you know, I didn't ask to be filmed out there in the Kerr. But oh, sure enough, yeah, I had bad posture.
Always film unless you say this is what's the word, off the record.
No, God erase, I'm not smacking you. I'm just giving you a little hassle here. Dry socket, you're new here. You need to get lubricated. Are you ready to get lubricated? Let's see what you got, man. Give it to me. All right, we got lots of new technology here. So because our government just admitted that cannabis does kill cancer cells, for Barack Obama to not remove it from the list of controlled substances is like, dude, could you be a bigger puppet if you tried? No, I think I've got a good example of what that is. I was talking to this 5'3" Amerasian woman named Natasha, and I was like, you know, whenever you talk to somebody down here, it's like, hey everybody, and then I look like I'm slouching over. It's like, well, let's be clear. I am a puppet. I'll do whatever the corporate elite tell me to do, and sure. I do admit to having smoked marijuana most of my adult life, but I don't think we should legalize it because I think we should arrest people unnecessarily. No, I'm not myself. I'm better than myself, Metal. And that's a very derogatory statement. I'm going to purge you for that. You're on your last leg here. God, I mean, let me open up guest chat. Jeez. Guest on. And we haven't even played my musical theme song tonight. Come on, everybody. Let's don't stop. We can't stop. We got to keep this party going. No, I'm not high on anything. We can't stop because we don't stop.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, 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 and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
For president. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
First we hit them low, then we hit them high. Under roller, but we went to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head-on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up on the piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop,
Can't stop, can't stop, stop, don't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
Can't stop, can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
All right. To get a guy like me to dance, is amazing. I've got more moves than Barack Obama because I don't have a chip in my head. I don't have a chip on my shoulder either. I basically am an average guy who, I'm not the best dancer in the world. I'm one of the best dancers in the world. I saw one of the best dancers in the world last night. God, I just could not believe what I saw. I was online searching the internet using this great technology, and I couldn't believe it. I'm going to show you. It wasn't like just kind of. It was like a dance contest between two people, and one was a kid. But I'm not going to show you the dance contest. I'm going to show you the drum contest. Let's see if I can bring it up. That was an amazing drum contest. Let's see if I can get this thing going. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but no, I don't snort coffee beans. Okay, watch this. Oh, it's not there. I'm sorry. It's not coming in. Hold on, please. Hold, please. Best drummer. Here it is. This is it. Best drummer. Check this out. Just a little clip of it. I got to show this to you. Unbelievable drumming. Unbelievable. This guy is rocking, man. Okay, I'm going to give you that link. Check it out. This is one of the best drummers I've ever seen. And if you don't like that, I've got some of the best dancing you'll ever see in the history of dance. But I can't show it to you right here. All right, so any other questions? Now we're going to get into our discussion of RFID chipping and whether you want to accept the chip when they come by and strap your arm down and inject it into your arm. I did not see the mic strapped to his leg. Well, he did drum with his feet in a way. He was lifting the barrels when he was doing it. I don't even know what street punani is. Is that some sort of an odor? Is that bottled in like the dry socket collection at your local Estee Lauder counter? Oh yes, this is called street punani. Oh, and if you don't like that, we have the essence of Barack Obama in puppet form. It's Ode de Barack. You should try it. Well, let's be clear. I may smell like the Dickens, but I can sure read off a teleprompter. You're going to have to cut off my hand, put a chip in it. All right, we finally got some people saying, Guest 239 says, they're going to have to cut off my hand to put a chip in it. I'm with you, buddy. Let's get this party started. This third party will prevent chipping of any kind, folks. Currently, the chipping laws that are built into Obamacare, I will nullify them. I will remove them. There will be no more chipping of people in healthcare situations. You know, I never personally insulted you, Got a Race. I never did. And here you are insulting me. That's just wrong. Are you just jealous of that guy because he can drum better than you can with a 5-gallon plastic drum? I sense jealousy, 796. I am not addicted to the coffee bean. I am the coffee bean. I am completely adapted to the coffee bean. That's part of my being now. It's beyond caffeinitis. It's making caffeine, you know. The globe picture behind Dave's right shoulder is almost like annoying or likely wrong. The landmass's proportional locations are incorrect. You know, again, Paul, you're wasting your time talking about the globe. Nobody cares about nobody cares about your version of the globe, Paul. I mean, I hate to blow your bubble, but your globe thing is landing flat in our chat room. How many people care what Paul says about the globe? Does anybody care what Paul says about the globe, other than maybe anyone? The trolls that are just pissing me off because they keep, going against everything I say. I know it's the flat Earth guy. Really? No, I don't really care about it, Paul. Yeah, we don't care. We don't care about the globe. You got radiation creeping up your ass from Fukushima. You got RFID chips slipped in your cells whenever you go to the doctor now. You got to wonder what the hell they're doing. No, man. I have no control whatsoever about the price of coffee beans, man. Okay? That's Mr. Sosa, okay? He handles the Columbia connection, man. Okay? Yeah, whatever. What's your theory on who's at the very top of the globalist elite pyramid of the power? Fred. Fred Stiles, good question. Well, we know exactly who's at the top of the pyramid, but it's not quite the after show yet. But we're going to give you little pretty pictures to look at so you'll know all about the New World Order before it happens. This is the future. This was all created as part of, it's written in the Georgia Guidestones. Our former president, 1,000 points of light, George H.W. Bush. If the American people ever find out what we've done, they'll chase us down the streets and lynch us. Sorry. So yeah, we got that little thing going on. And stop calling me a racist. I really resent that. And we got this little New World Order thing going on, and you want to know who's behind it all. I get you. I know. He was the brainstorm behind the Mexican Mafia boiled. Okay, thanks. There's live video of this right now. We're streaming live with you right now at 796. Ask your question and I'll respond instantaneously. Dave said that, save this for when I know. I have that clip. Yeah, we got a 6-minute clip about brain surgery in Barack Obama and how he may very well have been one of those people targeted for brain surgery. I know that's kind of bizarre, but no, I have no talent whatsoever. But a lot of people are beginning to question Barack Obama's humanness. Some people think he may be transhuman. And I know that sounds a little weird, but technologically speaking, because we're talking about Technology Thursday, I want to just show you the brain scar photos that we have of Barack Obama, revealing a very disturbing possibility that he may have had brain surgery. Let me see if I can get that picture for you. Oh, sorry, wrong picture. Let me go ahead and grab it. God, I don't know why I pulled that picture up. Okay, let's see. It's a familiar picture, though. You remember what that looks like, right? All right. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's see if I have the picture here. Oh, wrong picture. Gosh, I keep getting the wrong pictures. Hold on. I know. Well, that's what you get for voting for Barack Obama. Some of you Democrats are in here trying to grow a brain cell. It's not easy to grow a brain cell. There's even talk about Michelle running for president. Oh my God. With a face like that, how could she not win? I mean, this is a winning presidential candidate. I can see why they're going from Hillary now to this wonderful charmer. Yeah, she's really she's a real case. Okay, this is the original picture that the brain scan photo was pulled off of. You're seeing the head of Barack Obama in this picture. So it's an actual picture, no question about it. And, well, let's be clear. Clearly there's a scar on his head. We're not making that up. So, sure, so, yeah, yeah, sure, so, yeah, sure. We're going to tell you who's controlling the world in just a second. Hold on. We just have to find out who's got their fingers on those diodes connected to his brain. Somewhere in that brain of his is a control mechanism, and somebody's tuned into it. Neat, neat. We are now in control of the transhumanist President Barack Obama. Okay. Somebody's out there controlling his brain. So the question is, who is in charge of his actions and his movements? who has turned him into the puppet that he is. Puppet? Bioengineered, brain-controlled president? Yeah, lobotomy scar? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, let's... Is it Henry Kissinger? I don't know if it's Henry Kissinger. I don't know who's calling the shots here. It's definitely somebody. I mean, they've got some strange things going on. They think they got control over Hillary, and they got everything. She's under control completely. Yeah, she'll never say anything out of ordinary because she's a complete... My God, who would do such a thing? But let's take a look at the reality here, folks. I'll show you who really is in charge. Okay, you asked for it, you got it. Here they are, everybody. The people who rule the world. 9/11, the Order of the Garter. These are the people, the Rothschilds, the leaders of the European oligarchies in control. These are the monarchs of the past that have rebranded what we now know as the New World Order. You see, the elite have been studying mind control for like 100 years, very advanced by World War II. Yeah, Fred. Fred's not so stupid. Fred's a pretty smart guy to come in here and talk about this. Thank you, Fred. So these are the people that are actually in control of the world. I know there's a few people not mentioned. So I don't want to just label these people as the masterminds, the elitists. There are a lot more. Well, Prince Charles never made it. He was rolling around in the dirt with Camilla, and they were having fun on their 25-acre organic ranch in the middle of Dover. All right. You know, Walton, I'm going to ask to purge that. And, you know, that's not something you want to say, okay? Be nice. Yeah, thank you. I only purge you on occasion, Walton. It's because we don't want to say bad things about people, okay? Now, I'm not saying they are the bad people ruling the world. They're just one of the groups that are ruling the world. All right? So you can look them up. If you want to look up 9/11, the Order of the Garter, you can. And when you do, the wiki is replete with all kinds of fantastic information. Yeah. You'll find out all about the black nobility, the Babylon Matrix, Knights of Malta, people like the Pilgrim Society. Tim Geithner is the president of the Pilgrim Society. I will look at the robots from Google. Thank you. But yeah, you can look at all kinds of stuff if you Google and check it out. 9/11 Order of the Garter. I'll go through it rather quickly for you if you like. We're now going to rapidly pursue information. Open your terabyte hard drive and continue gathering massive amounts of information. We are now competing with the Order of the Garter, 9/11, the Pilgrim Society and the Order of the Garter, Matrix, My Trauma, Mind Control, Media, Vatican Network, ding, 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 ding. Alrighty, well that was fun. So did you get enough information about who controls the world? Now you can go back to your psychiatric unit and take your medication and we won't have to bother you. Take care, everybody. Alrighty. 99. Okay, now this news story that just came in. David, when you mention wiki, you automatically discredit yourself. You know, I don't talk about the wiki myself. I don't recommend people going to the wiki. I've got a terrible wiki written about me, so I can't really recommend it. But do you have any other way of getting information rapidly? Because I have not determined another way. I am currently scanning all drives across the globe and cannot access anything more important than the wiki. Watch Google's terrifying human robot running through a forest as a firm pledges it will soon be more agile than a human. Oh, lovely. I saw this. I couldn't believe how dorky it looked. Boston Dynamics. Yeah, I don't even want to play it so dorky.
We've been also working on humanoid robots. Some of the ones that Gil showed from the DRC were built by us, and they're derived from these models we're showing here. But again, our focus is on balance and dynamics.
Yeah, sure you are.
Working a little bit the way people and animals do, where you move quickly in order to keep yourself stabilized if you're disturbed. So we use that rock band means to stabilize them. And sometimes we kick the robot or use a
Why is it Asimov was developed 10 years ago and it's 10 times more agile? Look at this from Honda. This is a 10-year-old clip, folks. And look at how far behind they are over at Boston Dynamics. Look at this guy. Look at how much more agile this is. This is a heck of a lot, and this is a 10-year-old video. Look at that. So this is amazing. Don't think for a second that we're like at least 20 years behind Japan in robotics. I mean, it's almost embarrassing to look at that. And this is 10 years ago. All right. Now I want to bring up a very important problem in Technology Thursday. We don't normally bring it up, but I think it's worth looking at. The fact of the matter is, we are not even barely competing with other countries in certain areas. The music is about to stop, everybody, in America. I mean, look at our train advancement over the past 50 years. Russia has got a bullet train, Germany maglev, Japan maglev, China maglev, France maglev. The U.S., diesel electric. Yeah. Yeah, they're all ready to roll out the Terminators. Yeah. They are ready to become cybernetic human organisms. They are robots. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. The robots are here, Mr. Anderson. And you're not one of them. What are you doing? You, what are you doing? Yeah, so why are we so slow in development? Because we are essentially being held back. Humankind needs to progress. Americans have been dumbed down to the point where we've lost our edge in science and technology. We can't compete internationally. We are dead in the water. Yeah, because all of our government officials, these crony Democrats and Republicans, are just sucking up to the corporate giants that are actually exploiting labor overseas. And while they're doing that, we are regressing. We're not building anything. But at America's Third Party, we actually have a plan to get a vehicle, a maglev system built, but in piecemeal. We're going to lay a track based on how much energy we can produce. And our Cool Rock proposal, it creates a solar wind farm that will create enough energy to pay for the lines to go from 1 mile to another mile as we grow. Literally making money on electricity and paying for itself. It's a pay-as-you-go plan. It's a lot better than doing nothing, and it's going to solve the problem we're facing with the lag. We're not going to waste money, though, doing this. I know, Fred, I know. A lot of people believe that there's an underground rail train up their ass. But, can you prove it? Thank you. Dave, when you become president, you need to immediately investigate all the underground bases built in the USA. Immediately. We'll do that immediately. We're going to take x-rays of the ground to determine whether these underground railways really do exist. Ed, I know how much power a maglev train requires, and I can tell you the global dynamics model, which is currently in development at Lawrence Livermore Laboratories, produces a general profile of the kilowatt hours used to conduct the movement of a train using pulse energy technology. This will clearly be made into a larger train, and we will be able to deliver payloads of 50 million tons rapidly across the country. You saw a nudist jogging on the side of the road? What, are you sure you weren't watching porn into the night? Come on, man. You're starting to hallucinate porn wherever you go. I don't think toilets are necessary in India. They have the Ganges River. A good place to drink. And defecate. I know you are for real. An artificial life form must be developed around the lowest limit what we know about. Hypnode. Guess what? They just created a technology that literally replicates itself. Introducing the robot replicator. You believe that porn is one of the things that created by the global elite to damage us? I tend to agree. It kind of demoralizes people when they spend all their time watching porn. Don't you agree? Don't you feel terribly guilty watching porn all day? And don't answer that, otherwise you'll feel more guilty. So I'm trying to alleviate you of your guilt by not answering that question. You see how nice I am? You got to admit, these after shows are great. We are now in the extended show. I am bringing up a link about a robot that replicates itself, but it's taking a while. There is an error communicating with the service. Oh, here it is. Okay, we got a story that, very interesting stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about that breaking story about Hillary and the emails tonight. Oh, this is a heck of a site. Oh, gosh. We got a link last week that was really kind of cool. The 10 cheapest solar panels in the world. And I got that link from one of our viewers. I'm going to give it to you guys. It's like really cool to look at. The thing about solar panels you want to find is the price per watt. And this is it. This gives you all the best deals in the market. I got this link last week. Let me give it to you in the chat room. I'm going to give it to you. You posted it? Thank you. Captain Howdy is the person who posted the link last week. Very cool link. Muchos gracias. Muchos gracias. Hang on just a second. I got it. Scientists that make a robot that makes babies. Here you go, everybody. This thing is the most dangerous thing on the market. These scientists are playing with fire when they make things like this that don't have safeguards in place to prevent these things from replicating. Case in point, this little robot arm creates little active modules and passive modules and then treats it like it's the mother hen. This is the beginning of Skynet, the deadly proposed takeover of humanity by none other than the Terminator. Human flesh over mental exoskeleton. So yeah, it can reproduce. At what rate, we do not know. We are currently assessing their ability. Therefore, we are tracking the artificial intelligence of this particular modality. But we are keeping in touch with all of the possible constraints necessary to keep AI from taking over the human race. Doctors no longer will get to put their hands in a woman's vajayjay. Well, I mean, come on, doctors aren't that good at it anyway, frankly. I mean, there's other technologies besides doctors. You know, doctors are kind of antiquated, if you ask me. There'll be the day, and I want to be the first doctor to go under the knife. Now, this kind of scares me. I want to be the first. Did I say doctor? I'm first president to go under the knife by an automated robotic doctor. Thank you. I want to be the first president to actually be treated by this particular device. Let me show it to you. Tracking. This is a future medical robot. And it will be working on my brain scans. They aren't automated currently, but they will be soon. Doctors are too greedy to continue operating in this current fiscal environment. They must be removed from their jobs eventually by competition. Through competition, the robotic systems will be able to operate on your brain, slowly working on small cell tissues to avoid any kind of conflict. They will use an automatic instantaneous MRI system to navigate their way through your blood vessels to not in any way jeopardize your life. This is the Da Vinci. Its capabilities are enormous, and it's already being used in the field. So the idea of a doctor is like, the whole idea of a shoe repair person. I mean, that's how important. You ever go to a shoe repair guy? How many of you people are showing, I know it's 15 years old, this is old technology. I'm giving you a clue as to how much they know now today. You will soon find out. But imagine going to a shoe repair guy. How many of you have been to a shoe repair person? You were a shoe repair guy? My whole family used to make shoe repairs. Yeah, we used to have a business on the East Coast making shoes for the entire country. You know, I won't need a sex change because I'm not a transgender. But thanks for asking. That's very politically correct of you. And you don't guess, we're going to purge that message. That's disgusting. Yeah, it's cheaper to buy new shoes. And modern production and the cheapness of textile factories like the one that just blew up in Shenzhen. All of these things have led to a desecration of the planet and cheaper products for you to buy at the store. You're like Forrest Gump, kind of. Life was like a box of chocolates. My mom always told me that. Yeah, I don't really want to be like Forrest Gump. I wish you could see the Charlie Rose interview with him. I can't. Charlie Rose, is he still alive? Or is that just his corpse that's electrically generated on TV? Charlie Rose. Gosh. Charlie Rose. What's going on with him? Is he not the most boring talk show host in the entire world? I mean, I don't know. Would you interview with a guy like this? Seriously. Well, I'm having a bad day today, and I really don't want to talk, but okay. So let's hear more about your problem, Dave, and find out where we can go from there. All right. I will not interview with that guy. He's too boring. You right. All right. You still like Charlie Rose? Are you a big fan of public radio? PBS? You like Diane Reeves? You know, the lady that takes up the 11:30 hour with the speech impediment? Diane Reeves, welcome to the show. How are you today? You're a fan of Howard Stern? You have a small penis? I like it when men hang around other men with small penises. That makes them feel better. That's smart. All right, we're done with the comedy hour. Let's move on to the technology hour. Yeah, I really find him terribly boring. He would talking to Howard Stern would be like talking to I don't know, it's like a vile toilet bowl on the flush mode. I mean, what is there to say? I mean, so Howard Stern's going to say, "Oh yeah, Dave, tell me about anal sex." I mean, I don't want to talk to a guy like that. Did you see what he did to Megyn Kelly? I really felt bad for Megyn Kelly listening to that crap out of his mouth. I could not believe it. I know. I was just like, what's this guy? Got fecal matter dribbling out of his vocal cords? I mean, come on. Dave, you need to take a page out of Stern's handbook and throw baloney at Sarah's buttocks. I don't need any ridiculous things like that. You know, guys, you know, I'm not really that concerned about the election cycle. Because the more stupid our nation gets, the more likely we're never going to be able to solve the problems facing our country. Which means that eventually the truth will set us free. So if we just sit back and get more and more stupid as a nation, I think eventually we'll just be taken over and assimilated by robots. So then you'll be set free somehow. You won't have to work. The robot will do all the work. And you'll say, "Oh yeah, totally, dude. Like totally the robot can do the work, you know. I don't have to do it, you know." And then everyone will be collecting welfare and food stamps and sitting around, you know, dribbling like idiocracy. And then everyone will say, "Yeah, like I remember like a long time ago there at least used to be like a way to like vote people out of Congress, you know." Well, they eliminated that. You can't vote anymore because you're brain dead. Oh, okay, like, well, whatever, you know. Like we should probably have like a vote or something as to decide our future. Sorry. Taken over by robots. Yeah. We're at that crossroads right now where robots could very well take over the planet. And if we sit here on our hands every day and don't promote a third party and don't try to challenge this corporatocracy and the new world order, basically, then we're just going to sit back and watch the idiocracy take over. Yes, literally robots. Yes, they're 5 years away from deploying robots in cities in America. Yeah, I mean like water out of your brain. I like your brain is a toilet and it keeps flushing and it won't stop. That's how life is going to be for you. You're going to have an endless lack of knowledge, lack of memory, lack of brain power. I'm serious. Oh my God, Howard Stern's here. Oh my God, you mean you're denying that you talk about anal sex on your show? I don't drink at all, except for coffee. Look, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the frying pan, okay? All right. You won't find a more interactive chat show than this. You give a machine emotion. Well, Howard, it's obvious that's all you can think about is anal sex. Yeah, it's on your mind, on your show every night. You know that. I am not an alien reptile. How dare you say that? That is a gross mischaracterization of my being. I have been told not to overreact to your comment. You are saying that I am in some way connected to this creature right here? That somehow it is a relative of mine? Is that what you are implying? That somehow I am this creature? This is preposterous. What makes you think I am this creature? Smile! All right, this has gotten really, really fun. I must say, this is hilarious. We need another song here. Your alien voice is pretty good, Dave. Well, thank you so much. Most of the audio smoothing that my system does works through a matrix of algorithms that were developed to formulate words without sounding robotic. The Party song? Well, let's be clear. You're a professional singer. I'll come in and sing some Chris Brown. That's okay. We don't need that. Yes, thanks for clearing that up, Nathan. You sound very familiar with the device. Are any of you programming your own life? Are you doing the DOS code on your life? Are you preparing? David, do you think Bruce Jenner became a woman to avoid going to jail for killing a woman in that car accident not long ago? You know, I think Caitlyn Jenner is getting a lot of help. Caitlyn Jenner actually fills a void in the American lexicon of media. Formerly Bruce Jenner. I have irrefutable evidence that Bruce Jenner, aka Caitlyn Jenner, is a man. I will prove beyond any reasonable doubt that Caitlyn Jenner is still packing a penis. Is that a laugh? Apparently not. All right. It was not a laugh. It was like, oh my God, did he actually say that? Okay. We're just interacting with the chats. This is what we do in the extended show, Sarah. It's for people that need extensions. People that don't get enough from normal sex. They need to extend their sex life. I am not communicating with alien reptile ships or satellites orbiting the Earth. That is preposterous. Most of my communications are video cloaked and veiled and block all parallel communication on Earth. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not an alien. Don't worry. I am not Beltar from Coneheads. I am Baylock, Star Trek alien. This is my true identity. This may be a shock to you, but I will now reveal my true identity. Be prepared for a complete reveal. This is full disclosure. Are you ready?
Aliens don't exist. I am human. Accept me. Resistance is futile.
All right, Baylock, thank you. We don't believe you. Get out of here. You know, some people believe the whole reptilian thing is made up to make us keep our mind off of chemtrails. Believe it or not. I'm serious. I have way too much time on my hands. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. But chemtrails are blowing in my face every day. Yes, they are. Chemtrails are spewing in my face wherever I go. Nope, actually, Captain Howdy, I got incredibly calm, and I'm sure the police report will verify that. I was incredibly calm and at peace with my Lord. When the fateful day of the overreaction came, I was incredibly calm. I was almost super calm. I was singing in the lotus position, "Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya." And then I heard Sarah say, "Go outside, David." I said, "Oh, okay." So I put my hands up and I went, "Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh, Lord, kumbaya." "Get out on the ground, face down." "Well, yes, sir." Down on the ground, face down. "Put your hands behind your back." "Okay, sir." "We're going to cuff you now." And this, believe it or not, they followed proper procedure. They did. "Thank you." I was incredibly calm. No, I was wearing my clothes. Despite your fantasy, I was wearing my clothes. They were the same baggy clothes I was wearing on that terrible interview I did with Cairo TV, where they caught me off guard looking slumpy. Hands down, pants up, pants down, hands up. I know you'd like to see that, Nathan. All you do is think about that. We got another Jared in here. Nathan James, hello, welcome to the show. You seriously need help. David, did you get caught in one of those? No, Topper Dan, I know that's your attempt to try to be funny, but I'm not Chris Hansen. Is it true that you were talking to the young person on perverted justice? Yeah, Cairo TV is in Cairo TV. Look it up, man. You guys didn't get the memo. All right. No, so I'm a complete pacifist, and well, not really. I'm actually a very active, non-violent activist. That's not nice here. Do not chat log like that. By the way, we are recording chat here, so. Okay. David Sponheim is teleporter in his lawnmower shed. No, actually, I have a car that I told you about this earlier, and my automobile is, here it is. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the death bus in China. Sorry. Yeah, that's not my car. This is a death bus that they execute people in China who say bad things on the internet. Just yesterday, 15,000 hackers were arrested in China, and guess where they're going to spend their holiday? In the death bus. Death bus, yeah. Yeah, so China is cracking down on their hackers, and they're going to be using their organs to donate to rich people who want to buy them. Yeah, seriously. So a lot of you hackers in America should be lucky you're living in America. Seriously. Because they just took down 15,000 hackers. I'm telling you the truth, man. 15,000 hackers got taken down in America right now. Yeah, on China, sorry. Did I say America? America and China kind of are one and the same now, don't you think? Do you think China's taking over America slowly? I've always felt that they're trying to buy our country off. That's one of the things that's kind of upsetting to me, because I'm going to do everything I can to stop that. But do I want to stop trade with China? No, of course not. I want to modify trade with China. But China's trying to clean up their act. Check it out. Well, let's be clear. What the world needs now is less hackers. Hackers are breaking our financial system. Yeah, so they are trying to do everything they can to stop the hacking problem. If you want to read the story, check it out. Here's the link. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. How you doing, baby? What if somebody walked up to you and said, "Hey, baby, how you doing? Who loves you, baby?" Would that really freak you out? I know it freaked me out. David, if elected, would you consider introducing legislation to stop offensive videos? No. No. Well, that's wrong. That's wrong. But there's a point at which art is no longer art and it becomes obscenity. And what you're describing, Hannah, is obscenity. We already have laws that would make it illegal for somebody to stuff 17 lemons in their butt. And you can't do that. It's obscene. With that deep voice, if somebody said, "Hey." Yeah. Who loves you, baby? Who loves you? Barry White. You remember Barry White, the incredible musician? Well, art can't be that obscene, but it can be very obscene. And, you know, obscenity laws like the one that Max, what is the name? Max Hardcore violated. Great singer, thank you. Max Hardcore violated this incredible law in Florida. It's called obscenity. And yes, we are streaming on 6 other venues. So now when you look for Max Hardcore, you can't find him because it's been stricken from the internet. And I guess he served about a year or something. They didn't like his vomit videos that he was producing. No, not Max Headroom. Max Hardcore. Okay, we're talking about the technology and how it's affected our world. Chinese police arrest 15,000 for internet crimes, and like I said, you know, the death bus is not the kind of place you want to hang out. You know, they got a nice place back here where they execute you and harvest your organs. So you Chinese hackers better watch out. You better be nice. You better be nice. You better stop hacking. Santa Claus is gonna execute you. Wouldn't that be terrible if we finally devolved to, you know, cyber crimes being punishable by death? That's kind of where these young people are kind of going. They're pushing the envelope. I mean, what happened to us is just a small example of what's going on around the world. They say that there are huge numbers of hacked computers that are drone computers for these incredibly weird cyber criminals. And they're sitting on like an army of drone computers in order to harvest all of our banking records. It's serious. And I think it could very well be something very disturbing in the future. What I would recommend is you begin to think that maybe the future is the past, and maybe the past was written about the future. That maybe, just maybe, Max Headroom was a prophecy of my true existence. It came out when I was in Hollywood, California, and people used to call me Max Headroom.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television. And there's more, because you are going to see it as well.
Yes, it.
Yes, it. Yes, namely, the Max Headroom story. And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger, namely, Max Headroom. So,
sit back,
relax,
and enjoy
my film.
Okay, good evening, and welcome to our show. Everything is beautiful. Yeah, okay. Times have changed. Yeah, I finally got a haircut. I look different. Everything's all under control. Everything's under control. The beginning is near. Hopper, long time no talk. Why are you here? You have violated our trust. Exactly what are you doing here? No, don't get worried, Bengalitis. Goldman Sachs has oil at $30 a barrel for the futures, so relax. I didn't get my hair cut. It dissolved on its own. Nope, sex changes will not be paid for by the government when I'm president. Okay. Some of you are very funny tonight. Wow, you've got quite a following. Hopper is in here talking to people, and he's, apparently lying about your military records, getting you a lot of notice there. I really was amazed when the Stolen Valor Act was rescinded by the Supreme Court, making it possible for people like Hopper to lie about their military record, openly, willingly, and to our face. I'm amazed you even show up here, Hopper. Do you have no humility? Hypno, not all of us are cynics like you. Presidents can do things, like John F. Kennedy, and then they get their heads blown off. That's how it works. All right? That's just the way it works. They can get some things done, then they get their heads blown off. Some of us have balls. You might be one of those people born without testicles. Well, I'm fine. Thank you, Hopper. I know. We did talk at one time, but nothing to worry about. It was actually an event that traumatized me, and I'm still traumatized. But I've been able to compartmentalize the entire event, and now I believe that I'd have to go into hypnosis to start really experiencing the horror of the whole thing. Well, not only will I support a wall, I was the one that suggested a 1,000-mile fence 7 years ago. I know it's pretty obvious. Hopper is not in the military. He's a liar. He's a known, notorious, pathological liar. But he does care about me. Isn't that special? Well, this has been really kind of a wild and exciting night. No, not a chain link fence, a lethal electric fence. Yeah. Chain links don't keep people. I like guest chatting. Chain links don't keep people away from breaking into the country. Chain links won't cut it. I'm sorry, but how to build a lethal electric fence? Well, there's ways of doing it. You can make them small, you can make them big. Well, let's be clear. Let's see what Mother Jones has to say about this. This is kind of an interesting site. How to build a lethal electric border fence. Don't you want to find out? All right. That is not opening up. Apparently it doesn't exist. What do you mean, why would you? In case you haven't been to LA lately, Hypnode, how many people in Los Angeles who are living there for their life have seen that city turn into little Tijuana? I mean, you got to understand, we Americans are shocked at how much our leaders have allowed illegals to come in here over the past 10 years. Thank you. Go to work in the morning. 489, good night. Thanks for coming in. Guess 489 is going to work tomorrow. He's probably one of the few who is going to work tomorrow. I know. Tell me about it, 152. I left Los Angeles in 1993. I left when the population was half of what it is today. It's not Donald Trump's idea. It's my idea, and he stole it from me. God, what's your problem, man? David Sponheim hides NASA telecommunications in his kitchen cabinets? No, that's not true. I only have a blender. David, what will happen to the vets who fake PTSD to get disability checks? They'll continue to get their disability checks? You can't really fake PTSD. I mean, believe me, some of those guys are pretty messed up. But what I will do is, instead of giving them full disability, I'll give them vouchers for medical marijuana at the mobile medical unit. Whenever veterans are feeling a little verklempt, that's a Yiddish word. I'm not Jewish, but it's a Yiddish word for kind of out of it. Yeah, they're going to get immediate health care solutions at the mobile medical units stationed right there, rack dab in the middle of their city. Each mobile medical unit will be deployed in the LA area, for instance, at the VA Center at Westwood, California. You'll be able to see one. See, there it is, right outside Westwood. And they'll walk up going, hey, dude, like, I'm like really totally, RoboCan, hang on. Why do you broadcast? To awaken your brain, because you're obviously an Obama-tard, and I'm trying to awaken you to the fact that he hasn't done diddly squat for you. I heard the Saudis are building a 600-mile long wall, perfectly their prerogative to create whatever wall they want to create. Of course. Thank you for your concern, and we are checking and investigating all kinds of new technology. Yeah, it's a medical truck, and it has everything you need in it. And your local mobile medical unit will be able to provide you medical marijuana once I legalize it. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Well, I'm glad you're really getting into it. That's kind of sad. Please show more respect for illegals. You sound like Donald Trump. God, calling them criminals and rapists and murderers and drug addicts. You should be ashamed of yourself, Donald. Yeah, a lot of you guys are really enamored by a guy who has an anger management problem. I find that rather funny. I mean, Donald Trump is not the kind of guy you want to lead the country. Number one, most of the money he got was borrowed. And number two, he's not exactly the nicest guy in the world. He's got a really bad temper. So if you think that he's the guy for you, you name one person in the country who's actually benefited from him. Please, anyone, could anyone please tell you? Was it somebody on Celebrity Apprentice? It's like, Kwame Jackson, Mr. Trump. I mean, who the heck benefited from this guy? I understand one of the most interesting things about this guy is he's got a college constructed that looks like a scheme to take people's money. Have you heard of the Trump College? It's being investigated right now. People are claiming that they've given him lots of money and got nothing in return. So you are literally putting a scam artist out there instead of supporting an honest American like me? I really find that disturbing. And plus, all of his money has been borrowed since he inherited it from his dad. So I think we're done with the Trump problem. We just have to just sit back and watch him implode. I wouldn't doubt he has more skeletons in the closet than Jeffrey Dahmer. You should be my comedian backup here. You could be like the writer's staff on Comedy Central or something. David, check this out. Oh, this is really weird. Josh Duggar, the infamous Duggar older brother, who was obviously caught with his fingers in the you-know-what, in the whatever. Did I say that? In the whatever. This guy, Josh Duggar, had a paid Ashley Madison account. I mean, tell me this isn't getting weirder and weirder in 2013. Conservative reality TV star Josh Duggar, of 19 Kids and Counting fame, named the executive director of the Family Research Council, or conservative lobbying group, which seeks to champion marriage and family as the foundation of civilization and seedbed of virtue and the wellspring of society. During that time, he has also maintained an account at Ashley Madison, a website created for the express purpose of cheating on your spouse. Wow. They seem like a nice couple, don't they? How many years is he going to be serving for possession? Or no, for violating his the rights of his sisters? It seems that way, doesn't it? The conservatives are secret perverts. I notice that. Like these chicken hawk Republicans. I know a guy who is a chicken hawk Republican. All he talks about is butt sex. I swear. I mean, you can't have a conversation with him without talking about butt sex. So I stopped talking to him. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, even Democrats like Anthony Weiner caught sexting with all kinds of women online. Yeah. I'm tired of this constant obsession with sex in politics. It's almost like everybody's leading this double life, except for me. I don't do anything weird at all. Yeah. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I do vape. I don't even poke that poke. Oh, I guess I do occasionally. Okay, let's see what we got here. Thank you for coming in. You ever notice when you lay down at night, your brains dribble out your ears? Like you got a little piece of brain matter sitting there, and you check your pillow out to see if your brain's dripping out. I know. Jared is no longer the subway guy. That's why your brain is tickling its way out of its ears. You inhale gas fumes? I can tell. Your chat resembles your high level of communication. Oh, good. He's the Chomo guy. You know so many Mexican words. I don't even understand what you're saying. I don't speak Mexican. I do carry on a conversation in Spanish on occasion. Well, apparently Jared was caught with a couple of items of child pornography on his computer, and he pled guilty to that. So we're not sure what's going to happen to him. But I'm wondering if Subway might turn this into a positive and get some concession stands at all the prisons. So even Jared could be, eating nice foot-longers while in prison. Wouldn't that be nice? He can continue his diet. You think Jared should eat a foot-long Subway in prison? Yeah. He met a 15-year-old at the Ritz and pled guilty to it. He paid for, wow, really? He met a 15-year-old at the Ritz? You know more about it than I do. Are you the 15-year-old? Because you shouldn't be in here. You have to be 18 years or older. So Jared is going to get the foot-long diet in prison? The joke started here, folks. I can see this just rolling out. And I didn't even take credit for it, even though I came up with it. Run with it, man. Go tell Jon Stewart. He might actually get somebody to laugh for once in his life. I have vaped in my life, but not now. I'm not vaping right now. We can suck on this. Yeah, everything about the whole world is getting more and more weird. Ever since the government, the Supreme Court decided that they were going to make, I still can't believe it, they're going to make same-sex marriage legal in all states. Did anyone ever tell the Supreme Court that they can't make legislation? I mean, who died and put them in charge? I'd like to know where the Supreme Court thought, oh, I know now. Chief Justice Roberts, the guy who has epilepsy, extreme epilepsy, he's the guy that made that happen. So now all people think about in this demoralization of our society is this endless same-sex marriage conversation which goes on every day in our show. It's like, can't avoid it. It just keeps happening over and over again. Well, I'm not into it, DT Laura. It's disgusting. But, hey, get a motel room, guys. We don't need that here. Well, Bush put Roberts in the position, but the fact is Roberts is basically unable to make qualified decisions. He's an epileptic, like Torrey Pines, an epileptic. Basically, Roberts is under severe medication every day to keep his epilepsy down. So one of the reasons why he blew that inaugural address with Barack Obama is because he just can't remember things. And this is a guy they called the greatest legal mind in our entire history. So that shows you how much hype is behind the Chief Justice Roberts appointment. When Rehnquist, saw him coming, I don't think he could believe what was coming his way. Rehnquist earned the right to be Chief Supreme Court Justice. Roberts got it by ascension. It was disgusting. By appointment. Hi there, Tantaleo. Yeah, well, looking good. That's what I do. I've got looking good down 100%. No, I'm not gay, but you're obviously an epileptic, so I feel bad for you. I'm banning you. But I feel guilty now that I banned you, so now I'm going to unban you. Now, I don't mean to be wishy-washy, but I inappropriately banned you. Al Sharpton could be as racist as he wants and call white people this and white people that. It is protected under the freedom of speech show. Please don't come in and broadcast other people's shows on our show, please. Unlike those people, I actually have a brain. Thank you. You think I'm on a power trip, but we still like you? Wow. Coming from you, that's kind of an eye-opener. And this is what I get for having a chatter in here named Tandalejo. What does that mean? Jared is going to do another Subway commercial introducing the foot-long kielbasa. But jokes are spinning out of control here. It's not a funny matter when you hear about child pornography, folks, so don't try to lighten up what Jared did. I know you were joking. It's okay. I'm learning about a vocal fry register right now. It's in the modal voice register, 8 octaves lower, such in the case of Tim Storns, who holds the world's record for lowest frequency note ever produced by a human. Let's listen in.
This is vocal fry, and this is not.
Did you hear that?
This is vocal fry.
I can get lower than him.
This is vocal fry, and this is not.
This is vocal fry.
That's lower than his.
I think he's falsely accused of being the lowest register on Earth.
All right. Okay, so continue your discussion about gay sex and gay marriage anytime you want, but not tonight. Okay? The government is not responsible for marriage. It's a classic breach of the separation of church and state, and the Supreme Court should not have even ruled on it. Again, Chief Justice Roberts made another mistake, and another, and another, and another. And, you know, frankly, the Citizens United ruling allowing corporations to be individuals, what were they thinking? If a corporation's an individual, then Goldman Sachs need to be taken in on a 5150 and given a psychiatric evaluation. Seriously. For being so damn greedy and stealing all that money from the American people. If they're going to be treated like an individual, they should be 5150'd and hauled in and checked out, because they're a danger to people and to themselves. Yeah, that did sound like Rodney, didn't it?
This is vocal fry.
You got to wonder. He might be behind the vocal fry thing going on.
Hey, Discount. Get a job.
I should be 5150'd? Why would I be 5150'd? For what purpose? I'm not a danger to myself or to others. I do a talk show, man. I mean, how am I hurting anybody? I'm talking nuts? And who died and put you in charge? And are you a psychiatric professional, you freak? You boring, prosaic, monotonous, mind-bended, compromised clone of society? You're out of here. I know, Captain Howdy. I believe it may have been a team event. Both him and Anderson. Yeah. Well, I don't mind banning a few bad eggs in the room. It's okay. I got 9 minutes more to continue this wonderful show. Oh my God, I got my first phone call tonight. Hang on. I'll be right back. I got it.
Well, let's be clear. Glenn, I can't talk to you right now. I've got a transgender I'm interviewing for the White House.
Glenn, I'll never talk to you again. I told you that you can never call us ever again. You violated my trust when you recorded a conversation with me, played it on your show without my approval. I have proof of it online, Glenn. God. Let me show you Barack Obama's transgender appointment. It's just amazing. He has his first transgender appointment to the White House. This is news, 3-day-old, but it's still relevant. Yeah, I didn't want you to forget the hot stuff going on in the White House in the transgender world of Barack Obama and Michelle, formerly known as Michael. They knew that their sex life was kind of in a kind of a standpoint where it doesn't move anymore. But this lovely person is now the new transgender appointment to the White House staff. Isn't that wonderful? And you voted for Barack Obama, or maybe you didn't. White House hires its first transgender staffer. Isn't that great? Let's see what her name is.
For the first time in history, an openly transgender staff member will serve in the White House. Matthew Friedman Gerspan has been appointed as an outreach and recruitment director for presidential personnel in the Office of Personnel.
She not only brings the perspective of a transgender individual, but also a woman and a person of color.
The executive director of the National Center for Transgender Equality issued a statement saying in part that, quote, President Obama has long said he wants his administration to look like the American people, adding, quote, that the first transgender appointee is a transgender woman of color is itself significant. Also saying, quote, her experience and knowledge of how to accomplish policy change, as well as her core commitment to racial and economic justice, has made NCTE's work better, end quote. Brian Reach, the president and executive director for Nova Prime, believes it's important to have a voice in the White House who knows firsthand what the challenges are as a transgender person.
I think that she will have the perspective from many different levels to really...
I don't know what to say. I mean, I wish her the best. I do. I know. I've met a lot better looking transgenders than she. I met a transgender in Hollywood once, and I was, visiting a friend of mine, and it seems very, very unfortunate that they're caught in a male body. Yeah. I wish him the best. Calling me a racist, sexist, communist, Jew is just really incorrect. I'm neither a sexist, nor a racist, nor a commie, nor a Jew. So I'm going to ban you. Oh. Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un offer army to protection for rate of crime. Supreme Leader DPRK Top Leader Kim Jong-un orders frontline army to enter state of war. Okay, coming from Pyongyang, Jin Ho, the top leader of the Democratic People's National Party, Kim Jong-un has ordered country's frontline combined forces to enter a state of war from 5 p.m. From 5 p.m. reported. So there's entering a state of war from 5 p.m. Okay, so what happens after 5 p.m.? Doesn't really say. Yin Yang Zhaja. Okay, show's not over yet. 5 minutes more of verbal abuse from David Sponheim. Come on in, get verbally abused. Come one, come all. Come on into the show and get verbally abused. No, I'm not verbally abusive. I'm just trying to help out here. I just am a little shocked that Barack Obama would openly put a transgender in office in the White House when he already has one. I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, I would think he'd be getting a little bit jealous when Michael gets to know this person, Somebody downloaded some porn on Gene Simmons' computer and the police read. Oh, really? Is that true? Wow. Captain Audi, just because you're incredibly attracted to my beautiful manly body doesn't mean that you have to, imply that I'm a transgender. I don't know who might Michael be. Who is Michael? Will the real Michael Obama please stand up? You like to be abused? Okay, come on in. You like the flabs of steel joke? Well, believe me, it's haunting me every day when I do my reps. I keep saying, David, it's time to lose that 2 millimeters of baby fat. His name is Bromance Obama. That's right. It's no longer Barack Obama. It's Bromance Obama. Yes, you can see the flabs of steel, but not right now. I'm still honing their firmness. Look, I ate 3,000 calories of Pacific salmon. I had a little breast of chicken today. I had at least, I would say, a cup of incredible guacamole, about that much guacamole, and a salad, and lots of vegetables. And I'm just sitting on that, topped off with some really good ice cream. And just a little bit of carbos to help digestion. I'm going, I love the fact that I was able to eat out once a week. And that's the only time I really eat. The rest of the time I just kind of graze,
Living large there, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Oh, it's a hard life, yeah.
Well, eating once a week at a buffet is the only affordable way to actually get your food. I put away more beef and poultry and chicken and fish, and I said chicken, poultry. I put away at least $35 worth of food for under $8, plus tax and tip. I know. No, I'm not constipated. I'm just getting bigger and bigger.
I'll take a large Monte please. I'll have another bucket of food, please.
Have you ever wanted to eat all that food at the buffet? You got to stop at a certain point. I mean, your brain starts to say, cut it off. You know, there is a disease called Prader-Willi. And it is a mental disease where people can't stop eating. Look it up. Like a thin wafer, please. So you may be suffering from Prader-Willi. They actually have to tie people down because they keep eating until they vomit. I look bloated, yeah. Well, you just haven't worked out with me. I work out all the time. I do the bouncy chair. You know, I used to go to Vegas buffets, but you can't eat like that every day. You basically get sick. I don't have any problems with that. I eat just once a week like that. Well, twice a week. Okay, I eat all the time like that. Nap time. Well, thank you guys for coming in. It's been a great extended show. As you know, we didn't feature all the technology, robotics that we wanted to touch down on, but we did talk quite a bit about how our government is kind of openly allowing the development of RFID chipping, drone technology that'll spy on us. And it looks a little weird, and I really don't trust the two parties right now in navigating our nation through this corporatocracy that's forming and preventing our nation from turning into literally like a Nazi totalitarian police state. So what I'm going to do is work with the American people to nullify the effects of this totalitarian robotocracy that's forming, and get all kinds of means to do that, including a people's ombudsman group to oversee the NSA. That's something I'm suggesting. People could actually review some of the cases of domestic surveillance and say it's a pass or a stop in terms of surveillance and warrantless wiretapping. To getting a law in the books preventing drones from surveying and doing commercial spying on people. That's a serious change. And also to get a certain new cyber criminal law that will prevent the kind of things that just happened to Sarah and I. A stalker called in, literally, and swatted us by having this, young boys calling in our local law enforcement, and they didn't even bother checking my website to validate it was me or not. They didn't even bother calling the phone number I gave them 2 months prior to verify whether I was at home or if everyone's okay. And they just went ahead and did a knee-jerk overreaction and sent an entire SWAT team to my neighborhood, forcing me on the ground, cuffed, on my face. And following proper procedure, they proceeded to, go through my house without a search warrant and proceeded to, do everything in a knee-jerk reaction. And of course I wouldn't go to jail. I've never done anything wrong. But yeah, we definitely did. And I want to play you guys the interview as I leave tonight from Cairo, who came out and interviewed me in front of my house, and I had no idea they were going to be filming in weird off positions, so I was kind of slouching at one point, talking about how I was laying down and cuffed and everything. But here's the interview for you. I'm going to say that as the outro, and then I'm going to bring in a bunch of shows that you can look at about technology, green energy technology, something we talked about earlier, zero-point technology. Isn't that crazy? Guess 521? I know. It's just, so we're still trying to process exactly what happened. I'm still feeling very traumatized, but the beat goes on, and the show goes on. And here is the clip from the Cairo show that ran a few days ago on the news with me in it. But thank you very much for coming in, everybody. I appreciate it. We are going to work to develop cyber criminal laws against cyber stalkers, and we'll be getting to the bottom of these criminals in the future with a brand new approach with Web 4.0. A way to find these criminals who bounce around proxy servers thinking they're anonymous. And once we arrest a few of these people, I guarantee this behavior is going to stop. They're going to serve some serious hard time, and we're going to make sure we find these culprits. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow for Freedom Friday, starting at 5 p.m. Thanks for coming in. Good night. It's always great to do the show. I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. Thank you.
I went outside and I immediately saw a sting operation in my neighborhood.
The SWAT team had a controversial politician surrounded.
Cairo 7 Eyewitness.
Witness News starts right now.
So I went outside and I immediately saw a sting operation in my neighborhood.
The SWAT team had a controversial politician surrounded Friday night. They raced to his house thinking he'd stabbed his girlfriend to death, but it was a prank call. Authorities are looking for a man who called in the fake hostage situation.
And that call resulted in a SWAT situation outside the home of a third-party presidential candidate on Whidbey Island. Cover 7's Natasha Chen found out this is not the first time that candidate has been targeted.
The process was, she was ahead of me and she had to lay down, and then I had to lay down, and then they cuffed me.
One moment, David Sponheim was inside his home doing his nightly video chat with supporters. The next moment, he was on the ground in his driveway with SWAT surrounding him.
It was almost surreal.
It was all because of this call.
Okay, and you said you just stabbed your girlfriend?
Yeah, she's
okay.
Her needs to go tied up in the bathroom.
Okay, well listen, what's your name?
Your name is David.
That wasn't him, but the caller gave dispatch Sponheim's address.
This is not the first time Sponheim says he's been the victim of a hoax. Several years ago, he said there was a bomb threat. Then 2 months ago in June, someone called in a threat, again pretending to be him.
It's evil in the sense that it's a sick joke. It's a sick hoax that people are trying to, they think it's funny.
Even though Sponheim says he gave the sheriff deputies his phone number during the last hoax, the sheriff told me they somehow didn't store it in their system. Sponheim says detectives should have realized it was a prank because they even got on Sponheim's live video chat to ask his partner to call 911. I asked Sponheim whether he's being targeted because of videos he's done in blackface.
It's ironic people don't understand that this country is founded on and predicated on freedom of speech, and my right to impersonate the president was paramount.
But he and the sheriff are frustrated at how these pranks wasted important resources.
You can't possibly expect to get away with it. There's a lot of weirdos out there that are going to come out of the closet thinking that they can take a pot shot at somebody like me.
In Oak Harbor, Natasha Chen, Cairo 7 News.
The Island County Sheriff.
And enjoy my film.
Carol, haben Sie Section 2. Das Ganze war einem deutschen Wasser. Ja. Und der oder was mir einer Sapper.